right. Good morning and welcome to the Media Speaks Live Sunday broadcast. I'm DLAKE for Prez. I'm joined this morning by Sam, DiGangi, Sam of the Correct Views, and the band Passing Time, Samuel.
Greetings, unsettled souls. Welcome to the Sunday edition. Also, please follow on the Conservative Daily Post as well. DLAKE, who else do we have?
And we're also joined by Annmarie. Ann, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. It's a snowy day here.
And already launching into the weather. We have a tremendous show today, and we've just been started talking, and we're covering today's top headline news, everything that's happened this week, Trump's first week in office as POTUS, and the world order is shaken. Just reading from that top headlines at Drudge Report, a red link. Priebus says we won't apologize for keeping America safe. A couple of dozen people are still detained after Trump signed an executive order, which is a 90-day ban on refugees, or a 120-day ban on refugees, a 3-month ban on anyone coming from 6 select countries, predominantly Muslim countries. It's not a Muslim ban, though. And also indefinite ban on Syrian refugees. Those countries, I believe it's like Somalia, Libya, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Yemen. Notably missing from the list, though, Sam, is Saudi Arabia. We'll talk about that as soon as I finish these headlines. Trump to enlist local police in illegal immigration crackdown. Protesters take over JFK. That's the airport in New York there. Taxi drivers go on strike. They don't like what's happening. Airlines rushing to comply. Emirates change pilots and crew rosters. Lawyers move in. Soros finances opposition. Oh, what else is new? Trump expands power of immigration officers. Agents cheer. Iranian filmmaker is not going to be at the Oscars. Tehran vows retaliation. That's Iran there. Google recalls overseas staff. Silicon Sultans panic. Hollywood is in full meltdown. Another what else is new? Journalists freak. Oh, yeah, you didn't think they would. Merkel meddles. Yeah, she's been doing a great job over there. London, Khan demands Trump state visit canceled. Khan, just shut the F, be quiet. Customs agents ignore judge and enforce the travel ban. Sam, what are your thoughts and opinions on this? And touch back on what I just brought up about Saudi Arabia. Go ahead, Sam.
I think they need to make sure that they're not banning people that have already had business here. But if pilots are choosing not to fly out of protest, it's not like Trump is doing it. The other thing is, and I was using the analogy off air, why would you want somebody from Yemen in the country? Of course, they fund most of what happens in Saudi Arabia. I am only upset that Saudi Arabia is not included. That to me is like, let's pretend a 2-headed snake can live if you only cut off one head. That's sort of what we did here. No, not in favor of not including Saudi Arabia. I think Trump dropped the ball on that one. Annmarie.
Saudi Arabia noticeably absent. There was some people that were held over. They were detained at the airport, which caused massive protests. Annmarie, that's something that you were looking at this morning?
Well, he has a travel ban. He's supposed to have a travel ban on predominantly Muslim nations. Now, he did not ban these nations, which have predominantly Muslim people living there, which, like Sam said, is Saudi Arabia.
Because it's not a Muslim ban, it's a countries that...
Yeah, like Egypt is a friend. Egypt is a friend, so we're not going to include Egypt. They fought with us. We saved their pyramid.
Wait, okay, guys, the reason why he is not banning people coming here from these predominantly Muslim countries like Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Lebanon, Turkey, and Egypt is because these countries are the countries where he has business interests. He's allowing immigrants from these countries.
Annmarie,
That's
Annmarie, wait, no, DLAKE, no, that is true, and I have read that. I talked about it with my editor earlier and don't know if I'm going to write about it. That is because he does business with Muslims who are not radically insane, with the exception of Saudi Arabia, which is why I don't know they always get a pass. We agree on that.
And the specific countries,
these countries are our friends, even though they're Islamic. Egypt, for instance, fought beside us. Jordan fought beside us. That doesn't mean we agree on everything, but they're not sponsoring terrorism.
I don't think.
Listen. These countries were designated by Congress as being sponsors of terrorism. That's why travel from these places is temporarily banned.
Oh, that's hypocritical, because Saudi Arabia, 9/11, most of those people were from Saudi Arabia, and I mean, so
yes, I think all three of us
ridiculous.
agree on Saudi Arabia, Annmarie. I think all three of us agree.
Yeah, I mean, Saudi Arabia, they took out thousands of people
he's not
in
going
one
to
shot.
he's not going to be a perfect president. He's not going to always hit a home run. He missed one there, but by and large,
that's the reason why he got elected. Some people actually elected him because he said that he was going to crack down on terrorism. And Saudi Arabia, we know for a fact that people came from Saudi Arabia.
Not as much as Somalia and Yemen. Somalia is another haven of hate. But there's absolute haven of hate. People in Iran chant "Death to America," and their leader applauds it.
And there's not necessarily the amount of refugees from Saudi Arabia either. Now, Trump's temporary ban, as you can see on this map, affects Libya, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Sudan, Yemen, and Somalia.
And now, how many terrorist attacks happened here from those people, from those countries? I mean, please. I mean, I know of zero. I know of zero things in the news.
Somalia? Give me like 2 seconds.
Here,
hold on.
here.
Yes.
No, here in America. What did they do terrorist here? Someone from Somalia did something here. I mean, think about it. I mean, that thing that happened in the Florida club, that was an American that did that. Of Boston City bombers, those were Americans that did that. I mean, these terrorist attacks were done by Americans, and I mean,
radical Islamists.
But if the reason why Trump is doing this,
we want more radical Islamists. If we already have our own, you're proving our point. We already have a problem.
But then he would do it with Saudi Arabia. What about Saudi Arabia? Then he would be doing that. 9/11.
All right, Annmarie, abcnews.go.com. Americans slipped from Minnesota to Somalia terror group. Captured by the FBI in Minnesota, abcnews.com. In less than a minute.
But they didn't do anything here. Like
they did. They got caught doing it.
The Jarnov brothers.
But did they bomb something?
Yes, they were getting ready to bomb something that counts. Just because they got caught doesn't mean it doesn't count. Yes.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. They didn't actually bomb something. I mean, we've had Americans
that's
bomb
ridiculous.
things.
So your solution is to let the FBI get flooded since they're not already. They caught them. They're almost always from Somalia and Yemen.
But the biggest terrorist attack is 9/11, and if that's why Trump was elected by some people voted for him because of the fear of 9/11.
Yes, but 9/11 was also in part Yemen too.
But we know it was Saudi Arabian people that came over here. Like, and I'm not saying everyone from Saudi Arabia is a terrorist, but I'm just saying if that's the reason, then he would have chose them, but he didn't because he has business interests. He has business interests in each one of these countries that he's allowing people in from.
Yes,
there's Muslims there too.
He doesn't do business with them, terrorist countries, as a businessman, and he doesn't let them into our country as a president. Thank God on both fronts.
He is. He's saying, I'm allowing people in from Saudi Arabia, from Turkey, from Egypt, from United Arab Emirates.
An enemy of the U.S. We just saved their pyramids last year. Their presidents have been shot at siding with us.
I'm saying these are
allies for years.
He's saying that he's not allowing these people in from other countries because they're Muslim and might be terrorists and might be
because they
terrorists.
might be terrorists. Nothing to do with them being Muslim. That proves it with Egypt. For that matter, Jordan has been a friend. Jordan has taken bullets for us. They have monuments up for the people who died in the wars they've helped
Okay,
us.
so then why isn't he allowed? Why is he allowing them in from Saudi Arabia?
Because Saudi Arabia, while I would have included it, is a harder nut to crack because that's kind of there. The number of people who have died fighting terrorism is as high as the people who have died for terrorism. Saudi Arabia is a really hard nut to crack. He is saying that there is more good coming out of Saudi Arabia than harm. I don't personally believe that, but that is, out of all the countries named, that's the only one that I disagree with.
I believe that we are vetting these people. And I believe that these people, these immigrants from all the, a lot of people who come to this country aren't coming here to shoot us or kill us, whether they're Muslim or not Muslim. And I believe, I believe that they should be allowed in, and they are being properly vetted. They were being properly vetted before, and it's continuing. He's not doing something different. I mean, that would be different. Him coming in and saying, well, this is how we're going to vet them differently.
He's trying to make sure that they're caught before the FBI has to do it. And that was just the first one that came up because I don't want to tie the show up on the internet. I guarantee that anybody listening, you can find like 10 more.
Right. Okay. I feel without my camera, I have a hard time jumping.
Hey, Annmarie, wait a minute. This never happens. DLAKE, what's your opinion? Annmarie, DLAKE, what do you think? He read the headlines and then he never got to talk. Go ahead, DLAKE.
Yeah, when I have my camera, it's much easier for me to like jump in. I feel like I'm like, Now, the U.S. Constitution applies to American citizens. Like, people in Sudan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, they don't have an inalienable right to come to the United States, okay? These are our laws. This is our United States Constitution. The president has the power to ban and place bans on travel and, accepting refugees at his discretion. What he did this week is sign an order that bars citizens of 7 countries, and they are Muslim majority, that you'll see in every report about this, especially on CNN. They'll say Muslim majority, but it's not a Muslim ban, okay? That's not what this is. What we're doing is putting things on hold while we strengthen our national defense and our vetting program, okay? For the next 90 days, there'll be a suspension. And yes, there is some detention. And if you've ever been to high school, you know about detentions and you know about suspensions. And the people whose travel was affected, that the people are going nuts at JFK, they've already been released. Okay, we just had to do some investigation before we could let them, continue their travels. This article. Also, we've suspended admission to all refugees for 120 days, and we also suspended indefinitely refugees specifically from Syria. President Trump had a phone call this week yesterday with Vladimir Putin of Russia. Annmarie,
that's not true. DLAKE, that's not true. About this. No, wait, what you said about all immigrants. Wait, just stop. First of all, he didn't even say all immigrants. He's allowing immigrants in from Turkey, Egypt, Lebanon, anywhere he has United.
I didn't say immigrants. I said refugees.
Well, these are refugees too, some of them. Some of them probably are. Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, anywhere he has business interests. That's what he cares about, Donald Trump. Nikki, are you there? Nikki, did you hear what I said?
He's the president.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would he have ever opened, even if he was never run for president, why the hell would he open up a business in Syria? Of course he didn't own a business in Syria. Nobody in their right mind would own a business in Syria.
We're joined by Nikki Darling of Rock Rage Radio. I'm sure she's hearing some of this.
Welcome aboard, Nikki. Welcome aboard.
Nikki.
The business decision is totally off base and wrong. Thank you.
It's not off base. Nikki, please help me.
I think it's very much a business decision on his end.
No, you're wrong. It's a presidential
owns
directive. He's the
there.
president.
Nikki's right.
Thank you.
Most of the 9/11, the so-called 9/11. I know there's a lot of different people that have their own interpretations of 9/11, but on the documented terrorists were from where?
Saudi Arabia.
So
Arabia,
if
but
Saudi
they're not.
Arabia was on the list, would you guys be like happy? You'd be like, oh,
Everybody leave off the second half. A lot of the funding of Saudi Arabia came from a lot of the funding of the Saudi Arabian terrorists came via Yemen.
Nikki, go ahead.
Is Pakistan on there? They're not on there.
no, Pakistan's not on the list, probably because Donald Trump has a hotel.
Weren't they the one that were hiding Osama bin Laden?
That's
if
right.
we're really trying to save and keep the terrorists out of the country and that's the main goal, then those two countries right there would be on the list. Because if you look at how many American deaths, 2,000 and some from Saudi Arabia, how many from Iraq or Iran?
You're right. It's zero. You're right.
Pakistan has also stood up against terror many times for the U.S.
You guys want more countries on the list. You're offended that there's not these other countries on the list. But how do you really feel about the ban itself if you're asking?
I think the ban is ridiculous, but it would make more sense. Sorry. I think the ban is ridiculous, but it would make more sense if those countries were on it, because they're saying it's to help with terrorists, to keep them out of our country, to protect our country. But they don't have the countries that are the most terroristic to our country on there. So it makes no sense.
Yes, I totally agree with that, Nikki.
Yemen, Iraq, Iran, Somalia, Syria, Sudan, Libya. I mean, Sam, yeah. Okay.
DLAKE 9/11. DLAKE 9/11. I mean, you talked about it on the show.
9/11 was 9/11. DLAKE and I have both already said Saudi Arabia should be on there, but Egypt should not.
None of them should be on there because it's
Egypt has spilled as much blood fighting terrorism as we have. Egypt should not.
Then we should ban white men from schools.
Egypt is not made up of white men from schools, but Egypt is definitely not a terrorist state. They have terrorists in there, but Egypt has been a fight against terrorism. They do not belong on that list. That's like saying, that's like blaming the Jews for Nazi Germany. Egypt does not belong on that list.
Okay, I don't want to too radically shift gears here, Sam. It sounded like you have one more thing.
One more thing. Pakistan is another one that has shed a lot of blood fighting terror. The bad thing is they seem to be losing the war. But Pakistan has done a lot to fight terror. Unfortunately, like I said.
By keeping known terrorists in their country.
If you want to believe that Osama bin Laden was going from cave to cave with a dialysis machine is late in...
Really, it doesn't matter. I'm saying it doesn't matter what I believe. What is documented out there, that is what our country is told, and they're not following. So it doesn't matter if they kept him or not at this point. I mean, that's immaterial. The fact that our country says they did, but we're not putting them on the list, shows that we're not really interested in protecting and our country from terrorists.
You're talking about one incident when they helped us kill not al-Baghdadi, the other net cutter, the guy that killed the reporter Daniel Pearl. What a time for brain lock. Anyway, they helped us kill him, and that was at the time the most controversial move that a Muslim country could have made.
Great. Okay, guys.
Like, who killed Daniel Pearl? Help me.
I know al-Wasari. I'm
Musab al-Zakari. Thank you, DLAKE. Musab al-Zakari. Pakistan helped us get that bastard.
Yeah.
But if Trump is saying that if Trump is saying that he's going to protect our country from terrorists, and that's why he's banning immigrants from these other countries, it's exactly like, I totally agree with Nikki. It's like, well, why isn't, and I don't think that these people are coming here, just like Nikki said. Like, we believe that Nikki, I don't want to speak for you, but I think that these people aren't coming to this country trying to kill us and hurt us. Some people are coming to escape their country and have a better life here. And we already are vetting them. And why wouldn't you put Saudi Arabia, and DLAKE, you haven't answered this, but why, if that is why Trump is doing this to supposedly protect us from terrorists, we had a huge terrorist
country.
Do you want my answer? My answer is this. Donald Trump's been doing things every single day, living up to all his campaign promises at a breakneck speed. Tomorrow he could sign another order that says, oh, and we also include Saudi Arabia and Pakistan because I listened to the media speak.
You stole my thunder, DLAKE. I was going to go ahead and say I predict he's going to include Saudi Arabia. So don't ask me now. Keep going.
Okay, great.
Now, he has business interests. He has business interests, so that's why he hasn't put them on the list.
The fact that he didn't listen to his advisors before putting out something like that. The fact that
he did listen to his advisors who said that
10 hours with no food, no lawyers, people literally chanting, bring in the lawyers. If that's not saying something about our country who hates lawyers, if we're chanting,
yes,
lawyers come in, there's a problem. They're not allowing these. There's a doctor in Cleveland, not allowed. She's doing her residency, and she got turned away and sent back to the country that she came from
for 90 days.
And she's a resident at Cleveland Clinic.
Well, I'm sure if she files the correct paperwork, she'll be properly vetted and probably be it.
She was already vetted. What do you think she's working on?
Oh, DLAKE, this is a horrible thing.
Because now we're doing extreme vetting.
But how do you think she got
vetted, but not extremely vetted? Now we're doing
that's ridiculous. That's stupidity. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous.
It's not. It's called extreme vetting. Trump has had a huge. Trump's week was huge. What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part of this week?
That he didn't step down.
Let's start with Nikki.
Yeah.
her least favorite part is that he is still the president. Okay,
yes,
Nikki, go
that's
ahead.
my least favorite part.
But
I like that. I like that.
Your favorite. I mean, open your heart to patriotism. There's no room for prejudice. Go ahead. Nikki?
Oh, I don't. I haven't seen really anything good that he's done this week. I'm really.
There's no favorite part, none at all. Withdrawing from the TPP. Okay, let's go to Sam.
People are standing up to. He's overshadowed anything good that he's done with these crazy things that are making people really nervous. It's not just me. Everybody, the world over, from Google to. I don't have all these things in front of me, but it's not just one or two people nervous about what he's doing, and that overshadows any good that he may have tried to do. You know, that one guy slipping in, now he's let me find the article I was reading.
Okay, give that a find. And Annmarie, you have a lot of stuff in front of you. What was your favorite part this week and your least favorite part? Go ahead.
Well, I think it's dumb that he's going through all these executive orders. I mean, think about it. The reason why Obama did do some things through executive orders is that he was blocked by Congress. Congress even said, we're going to do everything possible. Mitch McConnell even said it. They had the control of the House and even like the Senate. And they said, we're going to just be the party of no. We're going to just put a stop to everything. Now, Trump, don't you think that that's a little odd that he's doing these things in his first few days, all these executive orders? I mean, he doesn't have to do it. Exactly. There's a check and balance system. That's why we have Congress, and they have control. The Republicans have control.
Everything he's doing is within his executive rights as the president. Well, what he's doing is presidential.
But if you agree with it, and you're saying to me that maybe some of the other Republicans agree with it, then why wouldn't he just go through Congress? He wouldn't need to use the executive order.
No, for certain things, basically, most of the orders are just directives and, sort of vague outlines of his agenda. And
they're not vague. Look what he signed this order, and people were on an airplane who were already properly vetted, and they're not allowed into the country, and they were stuck in an airport, and we had riots and protests at JFK.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe it's not vague, but obviously, there was different interpretations. It caused a bunch of chaos for people that were flying in the air.
Because of his stupidity. Because he didn't think it out first and say, well,
because
yes,
of the fact that when we sign
what
the
did you
order,
think was
it
going
goes
to
into
happen?
effect right when I sign it.
Steve
Yeah, well, he's
Bannon
the president. He knows.
personally overruled the decision not to include green card holders in the travel ban. Personally.
The judge that barred a certain section, but everything is still in place. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Okay.
I keep muting out because my headphones. I keep muting out because my headphones had died. Priebus clarified that green cards are fine. It was not Trump's fault. It was just the way that they implemented it. Green cards are accepted. It was fixed a couple of hours ago. I muted out because my headphones are broken.
Okay, great. Sam, your favorite part of Trump's huge week one and your least favorite part. You said you would be critical of the new president. What was it that bothered you other than Saudi Arabia not being on the list? Let's just cover the whole week. How did you feel, Sam, about withdrawing from the TPP? Go ahead, Sam.
All right. Well, Saudi Arabia was what I didn't like that he included. What I like the most, I'm torn between getting out of the TPP and yanking climate change the hell off the U.S. Gov website. I don't know which of the two. I don't know which of the two I liked more. What I didn't like was that I don't think he could have picked a more robotic person to be his speaker than Spicer the Machine. I put on my show, I'm sure he's a great man, but I
like Spicy Spicer, Sam. Screw you.
He is as dry. I only watched him once, and I had toothpicks on my roof beams on my eyes. He has had great speakers. Like he's got that. I forget her name. His press secretary is really not press secretary. Foreign communication. I forget her name too. I'm doing horrible today. She does amazing. He had Katrina. She did amazing. And then Spicer comes up. And I'm sure he's a good man. I'm not saying anything about him, but that would be my other least favorite thing. The man is like, if grass could talk, it would be Spicer.
Oh, dude, come on. Spicer, I like him. Sam, let me get your thoughts on this, though, while I have you on the line. Trump's snub for the Green Prince. U.S. president will avoid Prince Charles on state visit because he's going to see the Queen when he goes to the United Kingdom because he wants to escape a lecture on climate change. Now, if you know anything, Sam, Prince Charles is big on, global warming and all that, and Donald Trump just wants to try to avoid getting a lecture from the Prince about that. But, I mean, the Prince is obviously going to be there when Trump goes to the United Kingdom to visit the Queen. Of course, the invitation was extended this week when Donald Trump was with Theresa May. They were holding hands. The media says he grabbed her by the hand. They like to put "grab her by the" in the headlines. Did you, Annmarie or Nikki, see Donald Trump with Theresa May this week? And it was his first meeting with a foreign head of state. And did you have any feelings about it or thoughts about it? Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to talk about Steve Bannon since you brought him up because he told the press that they should basically shut up and listen. And
listen,
we know that
listening being the key part as I interrupt you to say that. But I have two ears and one mouth for a reason. Annmarie, go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, but he's from Breitbart, and they basically want to change up. Listen, no, and I'm really sick of you and Sam sometimes. But I really am sick of you guys repeating opinions. Like your opinion sometimes is based on an opinion you read on Breitbart. That isn't it. I don't want to base facts. On people's opinions, facts, quote unquote, alternative facts. Alternative facts.
Breitbart has links to everything they have.
Breitbart is mostly opinions. They are opinion piece. They are not. They're not in the middle. They are totally to the right.
They have an opinion, but they have a link to everything they're writing about.
It doesn't matter. It's someone's opinion, and you know what? We shouldn't be.
If they say that NASA launches a rocket and they link to the rocket going into space, if they say that the rocket was ugly, that's their opinion, but the rocket still flew.
I'm on Breitbart, big government. Pence joins Washington March for Life. Is that opinion? The Atlantic has regrets over error-filled pro-abortion article. Maybe opinion. I don't know. Planned Parenthood.
Oh, you don't think that these articles are skewed to the right? I mean, come on. Listen, what I'm saying to you is that, Trump has ignored, the First Amendment. The First Amendment is freedom of the press. I mean, that's in the First Amendment. I mean, we need the press.
That's how he won the presidency. He played
this guy, this Steve Bannon, said basically to the press, shut up and listen. And they're going to start calling on like bloggers and Breitbart people, of course, who are like used to be in the back of the room. They're going to start calling on these people. These are opinion sites.
Like me. Good, that'll be people like me.
That's opinion.
That's
and
you're if it wasn't for Trump,
you give your opinion.
If it wasn't for
you're not giving
Trump
facts.
and InfoWars, I would have never gotten the press pass. No.
Yeah, and InfoWars is a conspiracy.
Ask Donald Trump anything, it would be why he didn't include Saudi Arabia. So he probably wouldn't like me.
Well, if
I'm not going to be there to compliment him. I'm not going to say, hey, good job on the TPP. I'm going to say, why didn't you include Saudi Arabia? So it's not like I would be his friend.
These are opinions. Yes.
You can't call the White House anymore to give your opinions. What do you think of that?
I
and
saw
NASA
that.
and EPA can't use the press to put out.
As someone who has done it, I've never gotten a reply the twice I did it anyway.
You can't call. They turn it off anyway.
It's been off for all intents and purposes since at least the first time Obama got in.
And there's no Spanish on the website yet either, but there will be. And I'm sure you could receive phone calls. It's week 1 we're talking about.
No, but you're missing something.
D-Lake, you're page here. No,
okay, you are totally missing something.
D-Lake, let me answer Nikki's question. Nikki, when it was open, I never got a call back. I never got a confirmation. I never even got a fuck you, don't call. So, I mean, what good was it?
So it wasn't good for you, so just delete it?
I challenge anybody who hears this video that knows of anybody that got a reply from calling the White House to please leave a comment. I'm sure there will be.
Feel about turning it off.
It's like it's like closing an empty room. They just went in the morning and hit delete. They made sure nobody. They went through in the morning, made sure nobody threatened anybody, and hit delete.
Why don't you just go hit up Donald Trump at Real Donald Trump on Twitter? I mean, make your voice heard on Twitter.
Well, hell, Annmarie and Nikki, I'm fair. While his press did help me get my press pass, I've never once gotten the reply from Donald Trump on Twitter either. Absolutely nothing. Not a damn thing. Now, there's another question I'll ask. Guys. Thanks, Annmarie. Now I'm not going to be one of the bloggers called on. He's going to be like, that Sam Creep wants to ask me about Saudi Arabia. Now that Sam Creep's mad about something else. There go my chances, Annmarie.
There goes that relationship.
2 complaints in a row. I don't like his Twitter and I don't like his Saudi Arabia. There I go. There goes my White House pass.
Well, he doesn't want to be checked. Listen, Trump doesn't want to be checked. There's a check and balance system. That's why we have Congress. That's why we have the Senate. It checks the president. He doesn't have to be doing these executive orders. He could be going through Congress. And also with the press, there's a reason why that's if a First Amendment freedom of the press. The press, there should be more transparency in the White House, and the press is there to ask these questions. And he doesn't like to be checked by anybody, even his own party.
Annmarie, do you think if we opened up the press pool to Sam I.B. DiGangi of The Media Speaks, do you think we would get more information or less information? Do you think the administration will be more transparent or less transparent? Sam, if you were in the press pool, I mean, obviously he's never going to call on you, but you would be raising your hand like a maniac, Sam.
I would, and like I said, both of the questions that, well, I wouldn't ask about the Twitter, but the question I would ask him would probably be one he didn't like. So I think opening it up would be helpful, because while I support the man, I'm not going to say, hey, good job on the TPP, because that's not of interest to anybody whatsoever. I'm going to ask him a question.
Ban you. he would ban you, not answer your questions like he did with CNN, and he would ban you.
Anne-Marie, he might ban me, Anne-Marie, but now you're in what if land. You were talking about opening it up to bloggers. D-Lake and I are asking you why that would be bad.
Because it's opinion sites like Breitbart. Breitbart is an opinion site.
Do you think D-Lake would bring you less news?
I think that that you guys
Breitbart's opinion site is totally false, off base. Go research Andrew.
Oh, okay. So
the founder of the website.
Okay.
Yeah, do me
sure,
that.
D-Lake.
Yeah, I'm on my.
You're not skewed to the right. You don't think you're skewed to the right at all. Nikki, help me out here. I mean,
you're missing the point, Anne-Marie. It doesn't matter if we like the guy or not. If we're going to ask the question and write down the answer, why does it matter if we like the man or not?
He shuts down anybody who approbes him. He shuts down anyone who investigates and gives him facts.
Annmarie, let me answer your question then. Let me honestly follow this through then. If he turned me down, Sam is going to come home and say, I think Donald Trump is the most fair man ever. He turned down my question. Or am I going to say he lets bloggers in, but he doesn't take any of their questions? So he lets you in for theater only. Which do you think I'm going to report, Anne-Marie? I'm going to tell the truth, whether I'll probably say, I really like the man. And I'm let down by the fact that he never takes my question. I don't see how taking my question gives you less news.
He won't give you an answer. He will shut you down.
What am I going to write?
Answer. He even said it. He said, I'm not taking a question from you to the CNN guy in the front row.
You're deviating from the question. I'm asking you to answer how getting bloggers a question is going to hurt. He can shout down reporters or deny reporters. How isn't giving a blogger a question going to hurt anything?
You're for him shutting down reporters. It's freedom of the press. There's a reason why we have it. It's the First Amendment.
Yeah, but how
not shutting down any reporter?
He should take people like me. But how is including the press pool to include people like me going to hurt? Maybe when he lands in Ohio, he'll pick a handful of bloggers, and maybe I'll be one of them. And if he doesn't, I'm not going to kiss his ass for it.
Okay,
you're missing the point. You're missing the whole point. I mean, the whole point is that this guy, Steve Bannon, is from Breitbart. He is working for Trump. He is Trump's pick. Trump is now the president. So this guy said he's telling the press to shut up and listen. And this press, they've already tried to shut down. They even said, I'm not taking a question from you. Trump said that to the guy from CNN. Media.
All right, Anne-Marie, let me finish. Let me answer that, then give it to Nikki, because Nikki hasn't got to say anything in ages. If I spread a rumor, and this is hyperbole, friends, that Anne-Marie, you were cheating on your husband with prostitutes and let them do urination acts on you, would you take my question in the press pool when the story wasn't true?
Okay,
CNN didn't say that. CNN.
That was. Okay. CNN,
yeah, and Trump. Okay, and CNN did not do that. And guess what? That was, like D-Lake said, BuzzFeed, and he shut down the guy from CNN. And CNN didn't do that. And you're talking about seditious libel.
CNN reported on it as if it was fact from BuzzFeed.
And that's not seditious libel. When you like what CNN was doing was they were in the front row and they were trying to ask Trump a question, and he wouldn't even respond. He even said, "I'm not responding to you because of that." And CNN has never. They even said that was a link. That was BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed is the one that published that. CNN did not publish it because they didn't have a verified. No, and he shut them down. And it's freedom of the press. Nikki, help me out.
Yeah, of course it's freedom, but I'm not going to answer the question from somebody who just lied about me.
Yeah, and as the president, I have the freedom to not take your stupid question, Jim Acosta in the front row. Thank you. I'm on.
The guy that put out that story or whatever about the urination, he's dead
Tucker
now.
Carlson destroyed him. I love Tucker Carlson. Go ahead.
He's dead. The guy's dead now.
Whoa.
The BuzzFeed editor is dead now? No, he's not.
The guy in Russia, the Russian leaker, so to speak. The one who leaked that dossier.
That guy's not dead. He's dead since when? Yesterday?
Let me get the article.
I must admit I have negligence here. My silence is all I have to say. I hadn't heard that he died.
Yeah,
Give me those fingers. DLAKE. Annmarie. Nikki, help me. DLAKE. Type.
No, Sam, I'm trying to stay on this page because I keep trying to get to this, but I have no control over this show today. And I mean, it's awesome, but at the same time, it's frustrating. Sam, listen, Christians in the Middle East have been executed in large numbers. We cannot allow this horror to continue, says Donald J. Trump on his Twitter. Our country needs strong borders and extreme vetting now. Look what is happening all over Europe and indeed the world. A horrible mess, both in bold print on his Twitter. Donald J. Trump. Sam, how do you feel about Donald J. Trump's most recent tweets on Twitter in the last 7 hours?
All right, and then I want to let Nikki say something because I think because she has a white screen, we're missing her. I just see her little green light go up. So you got to let Nikki go next. I think that that's very important because a lot of times Muslims have, you hear the excuse that...
Don't say all Muslims.
That this group took Muslim land or this group took Muslim land. The Christians were in the lands that they're being slaughtered out of before the Muslims were there, obviously, because it's but that's not my. I'm not saying Muslims shouldn't be there. My point is the Christians are being run out of where they were originally rooted, where the entire Bible happened at. Even if you hate Christ, it's still actually historically their spot. And I'm glad he's sticking up for them because all the people that stick up for the Indians or the this or the that should be sticking up for the Christians because they've been there since day one.
How do you feel about
the people that would have any right to it to a larger degree are the Jews, and they don't want it.
Sam, how do you feel about our relationship with Israel? How do you feel about the embassy moving to the capital moving to Jerusalem? And how do you feel about one state, two state solution with Israel and Palestine? Netanyahu this week said that
I feel like you're giving me too much at one time, my friend. Hold on. Whoa.
I know, Sam. You have
just
to
talk about the tweet. The tweet.
And then just.
Let's talk
I
about
can't possibly
the tweet
answer everything you just asked. Nikki, I'll answer after Nikki. Nikki, what were you going to say? DLAKE, you gave me 5 questions. And one of them had to do with my difference between Zionism and Judaism, which will take me 10 minutes. I like one and hate the other.
Oh, no.
Skip over that.
Russian spy linked to Donald Trump's dirty dossier found dead in his car in Moscow. This was yesterday. Russian intel agent who leaked Donald Trump's prostitute blackmail dossier was found dead in the back of his car It's 23 hours ago.
Russian spy linked. Dirty dossier death. Russian spy linked to Donald Trump's dirty dossier found dead in his car in Moscow. Are we on the same page here?
I don't know which one you're on. I'm on Palmer Report. But there's different ones. There's a whole lot of different links to it. The Russian government,
the British spy is Christopher Steele. All I've been hearing is Christopher Steele, and now supposedly this Oleg Yarovinko guy, he's suspected of being Christopher Steele's key source. Christopher Steele didn't have any key sources. He made everything up out of fucking thin air.
This is like a reaction piece for me. I don't know anything about it. I'm having a great time. Please don't stop.
It sounds like a friend of a friend's uncle's cousin's brother died, and now they're saying it's all Donald Trump's fault. I don't know about that.
I don't think they're saying it's Donald Trump's fault. They're saying,
Oleg is described as the key source behind the widely discredited document. He was found dead in the back of his car in Moscow.
Nobody's accusing Trump in it. I mean, I'm sure they will, but thus far they haven't. They haven't.
All right, Nikki, thank you for joining us today. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, president of Russia and president of the United States, had a phone call yesterday. Were you aware that they talked on the phone, and what do you think they talked about?
I think a lot of what Donald is doing is to impress.
Everything that Donald Trump is doing is impressing you? What'd you say?
No,
You're very impressed by Donald Trump? I couldn't hear you.
I can't hear because there's a lot of static.
Who end is that on? Everyone go to mute except Nikki. Go ahead, Nikki.
I think that a lot of what Donald is doing is trying to impress Putin with his strength. Look, I'm strong, just like Russia. I think that's why he's doing the executive orders as opposed to going through Congress like normal. I think that's why he's getting rid of a lot of the old time people. Like, he's not even allowing certain individuals in some of the meetings who.
But how did you feel this week about him? How did you feel, Nikki, this week about him charming Congress, meeting with the leaders, meeting with Schumer, meeting with Pelosi, meeting with, Paul Ryan, of course, and all the, heads of Congress, so to speak, and calling Putin? Priebus was there. Vice President Mike Pence was there.
An entertainer. He is trying to entertain
Bannon
people
was
with
there. I know.
presidential, he
do
can
you think that they mostly?
look at me, I'm strong. This is what he does. I do think a lot of what he's doing is to impress Putin. For some reason, he sees him as, well, he's a narcissist. And like him or hate him, you cannot deny that he's a narcissist. He has all of them. He has all the symptoms of narcissism. So he has to have something, his goal for Grammy.
Is that according to all your psychiatric training that you have?
Yes. And the fact that I've lived with a narcissist, I had to read books to get away from narcissists. It's a real thing. You can look it up, and there are factors. I have worked in the healthcare and mental health field. So
okay, well, I'll give you the expertise on that. So
I'm not expertise. No,
I'll give you
I've been around it.
A master's degree if you want.
No, I do not have a master's degree in psychology.
Bachelor's
You
degree?
look at the pinpoints of narcissism, you can actually look those up. He exudes symptoms of narcissism. So needing that person to impress, every time we go back to something, it's him calling Putin, him going to Putin. Look, Putin has to see this.
Yes,
I'm going to talk to Putin.
You have to remember
I'm going to Putin.
Nikki.
And it seems to me that he has this thing in his head where he has to impress Putin.
Yeah,
and
but
that's
Nikki, you
scary
gotta
thing.
remember that they have found studies that ever since the late 20s, signs of narcissism have grown due to the way that the public education system is set up. Almost everybody in the West has signs of narcissism. Me too. I think literally.
Yes, but he has all of them, and
you don't see that as I'm saying, but you don't see that as much in other cultures. I'm not saying it's good to raise your kids eating on plants in the jungle. I'm just saying you don't find traits of narcissism in other cultures like you do in the Western culture.
Real quick, Nikki, is Putin a narcissist as well?
Yes.
So if
anybody in power more than likely has most, but not all of them are sociopaths.
Okay, so Donald Trump is a narcissist and a sociopath. Is Putin a sociopath? I mean, look,
absolutely.
If they both have the same degrees of narcissism and sociopathology, do you think that they got along on their phone call? I mean, Donald Trump was drinking a tall, ice-cold glass of Diet Coke. I don't know what Putin was drinking, but that was one phone call out of many that he had yesterday to leaders around the world. I mean, when he signed his executive order on the travel.
Look at me, I signed a paper. Look at me, look what I did. You know, it's weird.
Vodka.
It's a sign of narcissism. I'm sorry. Look at me.
Job.
Look what I did. Hey, people, look how strong I am. I just signed some stuff away from my people.
Oh,
hey.
He goes on vacation and just spends the whole weekend playing fucking golf. What are you talking about? He's doing his job. By calling heads of presidents of other countries? Yeah.
Well, then what do I
I'm about to go free Joker on this episode.
He sounds like he's calling to impress other people, not to do his job.
Annmarie, are you in a tornado and are you okay? Repeat, Annmarie, are you in a tornado and are you okay? Towards the funnel cloud.
Annmarie, are you in the mountains of Afghanistan? Over.
Wait, what's the matter? Do you hear like
Yeah, try to log out and log back in. It sounds like your microphone is next to your air conditioner.
Sounds better
But
now.
it's freezing here.
Oh, it sounds better
keep
now. Is that what's making all that noise? Okay, you do
Yes.
sound better now. It's true. You're out of the tornado. We're not in Kansas anymore. Did you have any thoughts about the phone call? Not just with Putin, but also other heads of state all around the world. I mean, he's already met with Japan. He talked to Al-Sisi from Egypt.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Is this like part of his thing? Like you do an executive order and you call people? If that's what he does normally, then it doesn't matter. But if he's just doing it to say, hey, look at me, I signed something, then that's weird. And why is he doing that? Why does he have to impress everybody with his executive orders if that's his everyday duty working?
Well, Nikki, this is the reason one of the stories I had to come up I was going to do next, but you've actually led into it. The person that's encouraging him to do this is one of the two people that brought the longest time of peace and prosperity to the world that we've ever seen. One of them is Ronald Reagan, who is dead, and the other one is Mikhail Gorbachev, who has warned that it looks like the world is preparing for war. He rose to power in the final years of the Cold War. This is NewYorkDailyNews.com. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But he is saying that if we don't get talking, if we don't get serious discussions going, then everything that they built is going to be utterly destroyed. I'm not going to read the whole thing because everybody's going to just tune out. But it's the headlines: former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev warns it all looks as if the world is preparing for war. That's why he called him. Whether it made him look good or made him look like Mickey Mouse, I don't care. That phone call needed to happen.
Sam, can you discuss the content of the phone call? I have the article brought up, and also, it starts with a picture of Mikhail Gorbachev, who
I just closed it. So now go ahead and give the quote, DLAKE. Go ahead and give the quote that's in it, DLAKE, because I just closed the window. I'm going to slow us down. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just going to bring up the continent on his forehead. But the quote is, it all looks as if the world is preparing for war, an important topic. And Sam, do you want to discuss this article real quick? I mean, the world today is overwhelmed with problems. Policymakers seem to be confused and at a loss, but no problem is more urgent today than the militarization of politics and the new arms race. Stopping and reversing the ruinous race must be our top priority.
I think there's a chance a really good chance that Nikki's right. He's being driven by the fact that he wants to go down in history as a great president. I've said all along, I don't care what. Let me finish. I don't care what his motive is. If he's talking to Putin and bringing peace, if he's doing it for the good of the country or the good of him, I don't care. As long as he does it, as long as bombs aren't flying.
Until he changes his mind.
Obviously, I don't see Trump. I don't think any four of us think Trump's going to go bombing Putin. So, I mean, the only person that could really push it to war would be Putin.
Because they have a bromance or what? Or because he's a smart leader?
I think they have a wanted bromance. I think Trump wants a bromance.
A bromance in waiting?
He's like, I don't know if I like you like that.
Look, Nikki, you have to court world leaders, and if they're both, strong men, narcissist, pathological people, I mean, what does that bromance look like to you? I mean, how else do you think we're going to get along with the world? Look, what the countries of the United States and Russia, and the countries of the United States and the United Kingdom with Theresa May, the countries of the United States and Egypt with General Al-Sisi, who's not on the travel ban list, but yet their airport is telling people from other countries that aren't Egypt that are trying to fly to the United States, I'm sorry, you can't go there anymore. For at least the next 90 days, according to the travel ban. Egypt is actually participating in our American national security. And I think General Al-Sisi is doing a great job. And thank God we don't have we don't have Muhammad Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood anymore over there. I mean, If I was going to take a vacation right now, it's going to be Egypt, Sam. I'm going to Egypt. How do you feel about that? Screw the Bahamas. I'm going to Egypt.
ISIS is an Egyptian goddess. To throw that out.
Oh no, that is funny. Yeah, I feel really bad for any high school student. Yeah. Let me digress to a bit of humor. Since we're all always so serious, let me digress with a bit of humor, because I've told this joke on my show, and it's not really a joke, but I was told it was quite amusing. Imagine being one of the students, and we all know the kid. He's just a little bit slower than everyone else. And this poor kid gets a report that he has to read in class on ISIS. And he looks up about how the people that worship Ra beheaded people in the name of Islam. Imagine what ISIS as a search term without the periods as it's written. Imagine what that would do to such a kid when his report was due. Yes, and you, Nikki, you have hit upon one of the great ironies.
Well, the problem with that
his report is going to be quite an adventure.
In Colorado, there was a store named ISIS because it was they sold trinkets and herbs and different witchy-like items, and they were vandalized because of its name. That's the
is that why Obama called them ISIL for 4 years, and also called them the JV team? And did you see that?
I like to call them Daesh, but nobody ever knows what I'm talking about. The reason I like to call it Daesh is it implies that there can be a limit to the border in their language. So if you really want to piss them off, call them Daesh. It's great.
Daesh is an insult. That's kind of like calling them niggers. But listen, Sam, did you see that Theresa May kept saying Daesh? I mean, it's an insult to their.
I love it. Yes, I was doing it on my show, but then nobody knew who Daesh was, so I had to quit doing it. But I was doing it.
Did you see that Theresa May kept using the term during the press conference? Theresa May had their joint press conference, the U.S. and the U.K. She repeatedly referred to ISIS, ISIL, the Islamic State as Daesh, which is like calling them like black bugs.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. The trouble is, there's going to be like the Black Bug Cafe at some little place in South Korea, and they're going to get bombed. The Daesh Cafe, and everyone's going to be like, So I mean, it's a language thing. It happens.
It's semantics. Okay, well that's great. Everyone go look that up. Yeah, that's a way. I haven't heard Trump say that yet, but I mean, after Teresa said it and they were holding hands and he grabbed her by the hand. They were just holding hands walking down the stairs, but it's like he grabbed her by the ... It's like. Also, I wanted to bring up Nikki. You weren't on the show last week after the Women's March. Were you? Is it because you were at the Women's March, or were you there? Because I think we're talking about hat wars, is what I want to talk about, and. Sam, you know the pussy hats that were so prevalent last weekend, right? Pussy hats versus MAGA hats, Make America Great Again hats. Have you ever seen video? Grab them by the pussy hat. Have you ever seen? I
think the whole thing is ridiculous, but it certainly is a great time to be a vendor.
Yeah, right. I mean. Business has been good at Sticker Junkie, where you can make stickers and say whatever you want. Oh, what about this? Would you wear this, Sam?
I have worn it, but if you put it on the internet, I'll be very upset.
You've had pussy on your face like that before?
I'm proud to say it was a little bit smaller than that.
What I wanted to say,
good Lord.
What I wanted to say is the pussy hats, that was like a one-day hat. I don't know. Maybe Make America Great Again hats are only one-day hats too. But,
I don't know. I'm going to go snowboarding. I hope to go to a place called Brandywine, free plug, very shortly, and I will let you know if any of the adorable little snow bunnies have pussy hats on. My wife counts the snow bunnies, and she calls herself a snow bunny. A snow bunny is anybody, any of the cute snowboarders or skiers that actually know what they're doing. And she then started calling the men the snow rabbits or the snow hares. I forget which one it was. But I will let you know if I see any pussy hats while on the slopes. I will let you know.
I suck at skiing and snowboarding, but I'll tell you what, I like snow bunnies. I'll just be at the bar staying warm by the fire, and then the snow bunnies come in.
Hot chocolate.
Yeah.
What amazes me, Nikki, do you agree with this? We've been going to clubs forever. We're no strangers to the bar, nor the alcohol that's at it. However, I'll go in from snowboarding and I'll get a shot and put it, and put it in my coffee before I go back out. It makes you wonder. There are people that'll do 5, 6, 7 shots and then go snowboarding, and you wonder, what is in your head? Snow? Alcohol. That has to be the worst idea. And I'm no stranger to the bar, my friend, but is that a horrible idea or what?
Very horrible. Very, very horrible.
I don't know. I don't know what's more horrible, me getting caught up looking at snow bunnies or what.
I don't have a pussy hat, but I have a black beanie, and it says meow on it.
That's kind of a pussy hat, though.
I bet you get a lot of attention.
Without it being
wait, Nikki, what is the coolest comment, the funniest comment that you've gotten on your hat? You would have gotten a million. What's the one that stands out as funny? The rest of them all probably sound like the same joke.
I haven't really gotten any yet.
None?
I don't really go out that much. It's winter.
That's because you haven't worn this hat right here yet, Nikki. As soon as you do, you might get some comments. What up, Don?
Somebody help that woman.
But with that much padding, I wouldn't be able to hear it.
Here's my caption. Here's my caption. My caption is, Jacob Marty, that must have been one hell of a toothache.
Yeah.
My answer to that would be, what?
Meme this picture. Meme this. All right, there it is. Everyone go get that picture and make it into a meme on your social media. That'd be great. DLAKE for Prez, joined by Sam, IB DiGangi, Nikki Darling, Annmarie.
That's better than a helmet. I'd like jump off a mountain. I would jump off a mountain if I had that. I mean, nothing could happen to you. It's better than a helmet. I want one. I'm going snowboarding in that. I can take anything.
You can roll down a hill in something like this, Sam. Is that what you're trying to say?
Can you make that into a whole bodysuit? I mean, you could jump anything. Seriously.
All right, and you had a bunch of stories today. Can we get into something a little more serious? Annmarie, what do you have?
Okay, you mentioned before about Netanyahu. He tweeted that Israel built a wall and that along its border with Egypt, and it was a huge success in stopping illegal immigrants. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes.
And okay, well, the thing with that is, this is the problem with that. The Israel-Egypt border was about 165 miles. The Mexico-U.S. border is like almost 2,000 miles long. So that's a big difference.
Listen. Listen. Okay, the wall, and I just was Google mapping this last night. Okay, there's about 2,000. This is Israel's wall. There's about 2,000 miles of wall, the United States southern border. Okay, over 1,000 miles doesn't require those type of walls because there's natural barriers such as mountains, and like no one's getting across those mountains. Okay, in some areas there's water and river, but there's areas where people can just freely go across the Rio Grande, and so there needs to be a wall there. There's other places where there needs to be a wall. I'm from San Diego. The San Ysidro border, we're very familiar with walls here in San Diego. I used to live in Tecate, right on the border. I could see the wall from the window in my house, okay? And it was just, it's a fence, and there's Border Patrol. They were in my backyard, the Border Patrol. I saw people going through my yard.
DLAKE, you're missing something
There are already 700 miles approved by Congress for fencing and walling and bordering. So, boom, it's already been approved in 1997, 20 years ago.
DLAKE, there's at least 5 metropolitan areas along the U.S.-Mexico border with populations over 1 million. San Diego and Tijuana.
Yeah, we have the San Ysidro border. It's gigantic and massive with machine guns already.
There's a massive amount of people. There's over 1 million.
Yeah,
Listen to the fact. I mean, that's going to be a problem. I mean, you're
it's not gonna be
comparing.
a problem because it's already there. It's just fortifying it. That's all it is fortifying.
Just think, the $12 billion put into the wall. Just think of what it would do for the education system. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there.
What do you mean the education system? It would make it much better. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So why are we throwing it into a wall?
Oh, you're saying 12 billion is better spent on education than a wall?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm saying 12 billion is baby talk, dude, when our national debt is 21 trillion. Sam. The national debt is 21 trillion, and they're talking about...
We have a certain amount of funds in border control that are in border control for a reason. You can't shift funds allocated from one to the other like that. That's the reason Social Security is failing. You can't do
This
that.
is the border right here. And there's
If
certain...
Social Security funds would have been left alone, Social Security would have been fine. We can't ever do that again.
But Trump said, Trump said that he was going to put like a 20% border tax on goods imported from Mexico to pay for the wall.
No, Trump didn't say that. Sean Spicy Spicer said that, and he said he was just throwing it out there as one idea.
And I've been hoping for it forever. That's the solution I'm hoping for.
And you know what that means? Do you know what that means? The border tax? Who is paying that tax? When they make a product in Mexico, and they're going to put a 20% tax on that when it comes into our country, that means the price of that good is going to go up, and we're going to have to pay a bigger price. So we will be paying for the wall. It's not a tax on them, it's a tax on us.
American, because it'll be cheaper then. And we'll buy American because we won't have to pay that tax.
Really? Then Trump wouldn't put his...
Think about it.
I'm done with that conversation. I don't believe he believes that at all.
I don't think he's going with the 20% tax. And you saw this week, Nikki, that President of Mexico, Peña Nieto, was scheduled to meet with Trump on Thursday. And Trump said, look, if we're not going to talk about who's going to pay for the wall, maybe you should cancel the meeting. He got a bunch of pressure from the Mexicans in Mexico, and the president in Mexico canceled the meeting. Trump said it was mutual. They said... And I said, you know what? That's smart, because if they did a press conference where they're standing next to each other, like he just did with Theresa May from the United Kingdom, if him and Peña Nieto were up there, the press would not let up. Every single question would be about who's going to pay for the wall. And maybe it's just a little too early for that conversation. And maybe that's why the meeting was postponed.
They're trying to come to our country for a better life. Pay for a wall that they want. Hold on.
They don't have a right to come here for a better life.
What?
I said they don't have a right to come here for a better life.
Well, they do if they do it legally. I think they have the right to come here.
Oh my God, DLAKE, that is disgusting what you just said, and I can't believe it's coming from you. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
I said it earlier, Annmarie. I'm going to stand up for myself right now, because I said it earlier that the United States Constitution applies to Americans. People outside of America don't have an inalienable constitutional right to come here.
Bring us your...
Okay. No, you have to do it legally, like Sam was just trying to define my position, is you have to do it legally.
Okay, but people legally are trying to come here for a better life. I wasn't talking about illegal immigration. I was talking about people are trying to come to the United States for a better life, to work, to whatever.
And I agree that they want to come here because it's the best place on earth. And the more that we make it great, the more that people will want to come here. And I promote that. So don't try to offend it like I'm being racist.
DLAKE, that is racist, and I can't believe you're saying that. I mean, you fell in love with someone who was...
America is not a race, it's a country. It's a nation.
Okay, DLAKE, you really want to say this on this video and let your kids hear that? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Your kids are... Yes, and you fell in love with their mother, and their mother was once not American and from Mexico. I mean, that's
Just lived in Mexico. She's not Mexican.
what?
She has Mexican heritage. I mean, what does that have to do with anything?
It has a. I really don't know, like, where you're coming from.
We cross across the border freely all the time. I mean, there's people that come here to work every single day. I mean, when I lived in Tecate, people get the border closes at night. The
Was
border
she
closes
legal?
at night.
Was she
Opens up in the morning.
was your ex-wife?
On the 94.
Was she an American or was she Mexican when you fell in love? And she was working on the border. When you fell in love, was she Mexican or was she Mexican American? What was that?
She's American and American born. Her dad is Mexican and her mom is American wannabe Mexican, and they lived in Mexico when I met her. She lived in Mexico.
But was she a citizen of Mexico or is she an American citizen?
She lived there. She's American. You can be an American and live in Mexico.
She was here legally, Annmarie. I think he's saying she was here legally.
Right, but what I'm saying is that's insulting to your ex-wife and your children because their heritage is from Mexico. You spent a lot of time in Mexico. You just went to Mexico for Thanksgiving. An American holiday, and you went to freaking Mexico.
He's not against the country. He's against the illegal immigration from another country.
He just said people shouldn't have no right to come here for a better life from Mexico.
Not illegally.
Yeah, not illegally.
We don't have the right to just walk in. We don't have the right to walk in there either.
That was my point. Thank you, Sam.
I don't have the right to walk into Mexico.
He did. Sam,
And they're
D-Lake went there without. D-Lake did go there as an illegal immigrant to Mexico to Tijuana. He doesn't have a passport. He went there illegally. He crossed the border illegally. Don't you think that's hypocritical? You're the biggest hypocrite.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm sure D-Lake agrees. They had the right to arrest his ass.
You guys are crazy. This is getting so personal. That's right. I did go. Look, here's why.
He crossed the border.
Wait. No. I do want to ask D-Lake.
Right
Technically speaking, did they have the right to arrest you? I would say yes. You would agree.
They brought me into secondary and said, next time bring your passport, D-Lake, but we have your ID. We check you in. We know you're here.
Oh, they checked him in. No. Well, no, that's fine. I got the same thing when I went to the Bahamas. I was legal. I don't have a passport. That is legal. That's legal.
No, he needs a passport to come back to America. You need a passport. You could go to Mexico right now. You know when you need. I could go to Aruba right now, but they're not going to let me back into America without my passport. I have to prove that I'm an American citizen. I have to have.
Yeah,
a passport.
but Annmarie, that I found this out when I went on my trip. That's a treaty issue. Because of Carnival reaching that agreement. It's only a problem if I miss my boat and don't tell anyone or something like that. Because of the Carnival cruise, I didn't have a passport, and I asked them about it. I did have to be like D-Lake was. I was separated, my wife and I, from the people with the passport. We went through what they would now call an extreme interrogation. They asked what we were, blah, 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 told me who I had to report to if I missed my boat, blah, 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 blah. But I was still legal. That's not illegal.
On a boat?
No.
I just went through it.
D-Lake drove down to Mexico. He went there illegally with no passport.
No. If he checked in, he was legal.
He didn't check in. He just went.
I checked in. I took me into secondary. What are you talking about?
On your way back. On your way back, not your way into the country.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about on my way in.
Unless you fuck up, they clear you both ways, Annmarie. I just went through this a couple years ago. I just did it. Unless you fuck up, like if I was to try to stay there or sell drugs or murder somebody, as long as you don't screw up while you're there, once you go through secondary, you're allowed back. As a matter of fact, if you are not back, your ass is done.
Oh my God, what do you think that D-Lake went down there to do? You think that he went down there to do something nice and go visit family? What do you think? I mean, you're talking about not letting Mexicans.
It's legal to drink tequila in Mexico.
Please, I won't. Listen, I'm not going to say what D-Lake told me he did down there, but let me just say this. You're saying that you don't want people from Mexico into our country because they're criminals and they'll
No,
drugs.
no, I don't want people from the country illegally without knowing who they are. They knew who I was in the Bahamas.
Okay, you need a passport to go to another country to get back into our country.
Don't always, depending on the treaty.
Annmarie, all this time we're talking about
depending on the treaty, you do not need a passport.
All this time we're talking.
You do need a passport.
I just read you do not.
All this time we're talking about legally crossing. Like Annmarie, you're like, oh, you went down there. Like you're trying to say I went down there illegally. Look, I smuggled someone across the border when I lived in Tecate. Okay, look, the border is a touchy subject, but we're talking about going back and.
Now we lost him.
Through a port of entry. What Sam, I think he's saying, and I'm in agreement with, is what we don't want is these 700 miles of easily crossable terrain where people cross over without any paperwork. We don't know who they are. They could have came from one of 7 countries now blocked or banned for the next 90 days. They could have come from Syria.
It's okay for you to do it.
You're still missing the point, Annmarie. What let me explain it this way. DLAKE, please let me explain it this way. This is the best way to explain it.
It's illegal.
No, I don't want you to explain it.
It's not illegal. It is illegal. It's not illegal at all. What they do is they take you and they say, if you don't have a passport, you are pulled to secondary and you are allowed to go cross the border one time only. And then if you want to do it again without a passport, then you must be pulled to secondary and be allowed to do it one time again. If you have a passport, then you are free to come and go at will. There is a difference, and they are both legal. You don't have to like it, but it is fact.
Oh, I'll tell you a fact. You need a passport to get back into the country when you leave the country, even
you
from Canada.
You're driving me crazy. You fucking do not. If they have when you are in secondary, they tell you that you are allowed back into the country and must be here at such and such a time, unless your boat sinks.
So why would I get a passport? Why would I get a passport?
Because this is something I'm allowed to do once, and they can decline it at any time. And a passport.
That's a law? Where's that law? Then why did I go get a passport here in Ohio? Why did I go down?
If you don't have to, if you're just going to go once and you're going on a cruise. If you're going to go on a bunch of, if you're going to go on a bunch of cruises, it's going to be cheaper because it also is more expensive.
Okay, so DLAKE did his one time going to Mexico and coming back into the country without a passport. So that's his one time, and they checked it off, and now he can't go back again?
Annmarie, I don't know how you're missing this.
You need a passport. It's the law.
Say I'm going.
And you guys want more vetting.
That's not the way it works. That isn't the way it works, Annmarie.
If I'm going to the Bahamas, that's why I went and I get
while I am pulled into secondary, they are going ahead and ask me what I'm doing and when I'm coming back. If I do not have a passport and DLAKE says, Sam, I'm going to buy you another one 3 months later, I have to again be pulled into secondary and questioned. Now, if the same scenario happened and I had a passport, I would not have to be pulled into secondary. I can just show the passport and go in.
Well, I'll tell you a fact. My husband is a lawyer, and we did have to get passports because, I mean, when we travel, that's why I got a passport, because you have to be allowed back into our country, America, and you need a passport, and that is a fact.
Annmarie,
so if it's not a fact,
you don't need it for small vacations like cruises and that. You do not.
Okay, sure, Sam.
Annmarie, I just went on it. I just was on the fucking boat.
When? Like 5 years ago?
About a year and a half ago.
Well,
So,
I'll tell you.
There's no well.
Passport.
There's no
And I
well.
do
Look
think
at,
that
you
it's
can look up my
insulting.
passport information for free online.
Okay. Nikki, are you still there?
How can you miss it?
But
Nick-
let me just.
Nikki,
Yeah, but
Go ahead.
it's a
Listen.
listen, DLAKE, that is really just really quick. The thing that I have a huge problem with is what you said, and you know what you said was that these people from Mexico do not have a right to come here. Like
they don't
for
have a United States constitutional right. In our Constitution, it doesn't say people from other countries have a right to come here.
well, people.
But
That's what our country is
but
based
people-
on. People.
But I didn't
come
say
here for a
people
better
can't
life.
come here. People can come here all they want legally. All they want legally. We want the best minds. We want the best and the brightest from India, from Egypt, even from the countries that are currently temporarily banned from coming here. We want their best and brightest. When the Iranian
I didn't sneak into the
And
vote.
sometimes people.
scientist
Sometimes-
or doctor is trying to get
Okay,
here,
listen.
last night, just yesterday, we released them into our country. We say there's no more detention. Welcome. Oh, you were a translator
you're a
and an actor
doctor?
for the past 10
You're a
years.
doctor?
Welcome.
You work at a sticker company. You work at a sticker company.
Annmarie, why are you getting so personal? Look at the map on my page. This is
You
where I live,
went
right
to
here in La
Mexico
Mesa.
and to
I
party.
was hanging out with my friends right here. They said,
you want
"Oh,
them
you
to
need."
let you
They said,
in.
"We're going down to TJ to party at Hong Kong, where there's
And
new
you don't
chicks
think-
and tacos and everything." And I said, "With
Right,
just
so
my
they
ID,"
just let
I
you in
said,
because
"I
you're a
don't
doctor?
have a passport." Annmarie, your concerns were mine. I'm like, I don't have a passport. We're not fucking going. It's not going to happen. They're like, bro, trust me. We do it all the time. All you need is your ID. That's all you fucking need. I'm like, I showed them my ID, my friends in San Diego when I'm right here. And they're like, yeah, bro, we're going. We're fucking drinking. We're fucking getting fucked up. They're like, yeah, we're going. I'm like, we're not going. They're like, yeah, we're going. It's like midnight. Then
I
they
think
call
you're
fucking
hypocritical.
Uber.
I think
We
you're
call an
full of
Uber.
shit.
They call an Uber.
I think
we
you're
drive
absolutely
from
full
here
of
to
shit.
5.
And I think
We-
that it's
we're
insulting
right
to your
here in Mexico.
family. I think it's insulting to your
That
children.
doesn't make
I
any
think
sense.
it's
He showed his ID and checked in at the door. You're not. If you come to my party for one day and you don't live here, it doesn't mean you can come whenever you want. You can come the day of the party. He checked in with the authorities and was allowed in. He was not illegal. It was he
Yeah,
stayed.
I think-
If he'd have stayed, it would have been illegal. If he was still there,
Well,
it would
I
be
really
illegal.
don't know if
Yeah,
I don't really know right now. If
my-
DLAKE,
I said I work in a sticker company. They're like, come in the secondary. They're like, David,
you
next time you need a passport, but this time we'll let you go have fun.
and you don't want that for anyone
And they
over
let
here.
me in.
You don't want. So you want
That's
That's
Mexico?
fine with us if you're coming just once. That's fine.
DLAKE said.
And
DLAKE
then
said
we
you
went
could come
back
here.
and there was
That's not
I
a
don't
right,
understand
Annmarie.
over
That's
me.
a privilege.
Everybody stop saying
Annmarie,
over
that's
me.
not a right. That's a privilege.
Everyone mute out and let me
That's
say
not
what
a
I'm
right.
saying.
That's a privilege, Annmarie. He had the privilege. That was
Mute
not
out.
his right.
No, mute out. Mute out.
That
DLAKE,
was not his right.
mute out, Sam. Mute out.
Fuck you.
Fuck me? Wow. Well, I've been told to fuck off before on this show, and I have left the show. And DLAKE, I know you don't mind people speaking for you, and I'm not speaking for you. I'm speaking to you. And what you said was, and it does sound like a bigot. And it sounds like you said that you don't think that these people have a right to come over here. They should have a right to come over here for a better life. And they don't have to be a doctor or anything like that. They should have the right to come here. And some people are escaping their country and want a better life, and that's why they come over here. And I don't think that you should say stuff like that. And it really, I can't believe you would say something like that. And Sam telling me to fuck off, DLAKE has already told me to fuck off before. So it looks like here you've left the show temporarily. But
I'm like you told me to be.
thank you, DLAKE. But I'm really upset by you saying that. And the second thing is,
Is an apology in order? If I have to apologize for something, but I think that maybe you're misunderstanding what I said. So, I don't know if I need to apologize, because basically what I was saying is people from other countries don't have an American right to come to America. If they want to come to America, then God bless them. But do it the legal, proper way is what I've been trying to say.
They are, DLAKE. They are. They are coming here the proper way. And that's why.
Who's they?
Well, yeah. Well, okay. That a lot of people who are coming over here come over here to work, and they're working farms. They're doing jobs that we don't want, and that pay less money. And they're trying hard, and they just want a better life for their family.
And look, I lived on the border in Tecate, and I went to Tijuana for the first time in about 15 years on Thanksgiving, and so I'm glad we covered that story. Nikki,
well, I just think it's
are you still there? And can you believe that Sam just told Annmarie to fuck off and then left the show? I mean, should we address that?
You better make him apologize. Sam made you apologize to me. You better.
I have to make people apologize. That I think that's on them. I mean, I can't. Look, if I have to babysit Sam, then I mean, this can't continue. Nikki, how do you feel about it?
It went way off the topic of what I was going to say. I
do you want to just
repeated there?
This is where I used to live in Tecate. Anyways, do you want to just get back on topic somehow, Nikki? Or I mean, do you want to address
what I was going to say about the country? There's a lot of people over there. They're poor. They're, beheading people at will, leaving mass graves. People are scared. They choose to come to America for a better life. I was not putting illegal or legal on that. Legally.
Okay,
Wait.
but both of you without saying it. No, both of you without saying it. Annmarie and Nikki, both of you without saying it. You're talking about refugees. You're talking about refugees. There is a 90-day hold. There's a 90-day hold on any refugees coming here, and there is an indefinite ban on refugees, specifically from Syria, indefinitely, and there is a ban on travel from 7 nations. That's the executive order that we've been talking about.
I'm just talking about the wall. Can I finish my thought on the wall?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah? Okay. They are a country known not to have a whole lot of money, yet we are, as a country, expecting them to pay for a wall they don't want and think that that's okay. I don't see how that's even, first, remotely mentally sound. They don't want it. Why would they want to pay for it? And he's going to bully them into doing it. Of course I would cancel a press conference with that man.
No, they actually do want a wall. In fact, have you ever seen Mexico's southern border wall?
Like Mexico does not want a wall. And in fact, there's a Facebook page where they're saying, there's a Facebook page right now where they're saying, adios Starbucks, adios, we have American companies that have factories down there and, that are giving them jobs. Now, those things, those products, like a car, like they make cars down there in Mexico. If they now put a border tax, and that does go through, and that's how Donald Trump is saying, or his press secretary is speaking for Donald Trump, as saying that's a plan or one of his plans. If you put a 20% tax on that car, and now we want to buy that car, that price of that car is going to go up, and we are going to be paying that over here. So really, it's us who are going to be paying.
It's not the obfuscation of who's really paying
tax.
And
it's an obfuscation of who's really paying. It's
my point to that earlier was that will encourage people to buy American.
No, it won't.
Hire American, buy American.
But like some of these American companies are based, the headquarters are based in America, but they have factories in other countries. So
that's outsourcing. That's
so that doesn't mean
that is
so
going.
Trump needs to bring all his factories back home, right? Because
no, I said that will continue.
Mexico. He's got places, in all those places that are not banned.
Donald Trump is the president now. He's no longer operating those businesses.
Right,
So,
his son is.
so whatever that business does is not what the president is doing.
Right. We'll go with that.
Oh, please, they didn't set up a blind trust. He didn't do the things that he was supposed to do.
And no one's seen the taxes. And this week, the taxes on WhiteHouse.gov. You know how they have petitions on WhiteHouse.gov. It broke the 100,000 petitions, which means that that's not it.
He's not going to show his taxes. He already said.
Yeah, so we're never going to see Trump's taxes. Is that right?
He's a liar, in essence. When people
Why is he lying? He said that he wouldn't release them. Look, I mean, during the campaign, if anyone or somehow he released them, it would have been one thing. But now that he's the president, he doesn't. I mean, you're never going to see him.
When someone shows you who they really are, believe them.
Mm-hmm. And you felt that way when you saw Barack Obama's fake long-form birth certificate, or?
Yes, because I really think that our government is so incompetent as to put someone in the presidency without seeing their birth certificate. I personally can't get a driver's license without one, but hell, I can be president. Come on, really? That's the lamest thing.
But Donald Trump just got elected without you seeing his tax returns. So, I mean, you don't feel the same way?
I didn't say it was illegal. I said that he said he was going to show him and he didn't. That's a lie. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe it was a head fake.
Ask to see them. He's already said he hasn't paid taxes in 14 years, and if you pay taxes, you're stupid.
Maybe it was alternative facts. You know, last week, Annmarie.
Alternative tax. He pays alternative taxes.
Alternative facts and alternative tax. Last week, Annmarie brought up alternative facts. What Kellyanne Conway said last week on the Sunday show. You know, it's funny. We're doing a Sunday show, but it's like we have to wait a whole week to react to last week's Sunday shows, because I went and watched that Chuck Todd Kellyanne Conway interview last week that you were talking about, Annmarie, and then it blew up after we talked about it. So look, wait. I wish Annmarie, I'm sorry I don't have my camera, because I feel it's more personal if you could see me when I'm saying this. I'm sorry that we had an argument earlier. It wasn't an argument on my part. I didn't feel. I mean, you know, you want me to apologize? I don't know. He always is talking. No, you don't have to. I'm not going to apologize for him, but it's like it was wrong of him to tell you to F and leave the show. You know, I mean, I hope I can, you know, obviously I'm going to try to reel Sam back in. I think these shows are productive. I mean, who else has this kind of energy? I think it's good energy.
I think it was a stupid fight. For the record, Sam, if you're watching or watch this later, it was stupid because he was really fighting me on passports. I mean, that's what he was screaming about at the end.
He was screaming that he could ride a boat without a passport.
Right, without a passport. Now, let me just tell you this. Yeah, and I went and got a passport.
And how much did it cost?
Well, I mean,
how much money did it cost?
60. Well, I had to get a passport for myself, my son. You know.
And how much did all that cost?
I don't remember exactly.
$200, $300,
something like that. But there's a reason why I got it.
Because you wanted to travel, and you wanted to travel the world. I mean, these travel bans. I mean, it is within the purview of the president to do something like this. That the executive order that he signed, and I know you guys right now are like. During this first week, it seems like there's so much order signing, and we want to get to. Obviously, I think what we really want to get to is more congressional legislation. We want to see something happening in the congressional. You know, we want to see Trump working with the Congress, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys.
Right. Well, that's what we were saying before, me and Nikki. Like, he doesn't need to be doing these executive orders. He could go through Congress. They have the majority. The reason why Obama did some things through executive order was because they wouldn't pass anything. I mean, they said we're going to be like the party
But
of
don't you
no.
think it's the smart thing of him to do to, like, you know, flex what authority he can with these memos and orders? Just, I mean, it's outlining his agenda and actually giving strength to his agenda.
No,
you know, from the onset. In 1 week, he's done so much, and that especially that what he campaigned on. And I mean, CNN and the New York Times and the Washington Post, they're going nuts because they're saying, "Oh my God, he's obsessed with fulfilling his campaign promises." When was the last time a president in his first week is like, "Dude, I'm going to try to commit to like all my campaign promises like as fast as I legally can?" And I stress again that like all the moves that he's making is within his legal purview as president.
Well, the thing about, you mentioned Kellyanne Conway and talking about alternative facts like last week. I mean, what I'm saying is Trump is not actually at war with the media. I actually don't think that. I think that he's at war with facts.
But Bannon said that and told him to shut up and just listen.
The media is reporting facts. I mean, and why is Trump doing these executive orders? I mean, it is very curious because there is, you know, a majority right now. He could go through Congress. Supposedly, they would probably pass some of these things. I mean, why is he doing it? I mean, maybe it's like Nikki said before, because he has an ego. I don't know. But people were on an airplane coming into this country, and because of an executive order he signed, it had a direct cause and effect to those people who were on that airplane. When they got off, they were stuck. And these are people who were vetted already and were coming here. I mean, so he really didn't think it out. I think it makes him look like an idiot that happened. And then there was protests. This is JFK Airport. I mean, this is not a tiny thing that happened, and it's a direct relation to what he did. I think that makes him look not very presidential.
Okay,
that's really
Nikki and Annmarie, Nikki, I need to ask you a question. Genesis fan in any way? You remember those videos on MTV with the it wasn't Muppets, but it was no, it wasn't
face mask, the puppet.
No, what do you call those characters?
Land of Confusion
video. Remember the Ronald Reagan in the Genesis video? You know what I'm talking about?
It's like land of Confusion. Like, this is the land of confusion or something.
Yeah, Land of Confusion.
And they had those puppets and Muppets.
They weren't Muppets, but they were. Nikki, do you know what I'm talking about? I thought you would know what I'm talking about. You're like the Rock Rage. She's on mute. She's probably doing something. You knew what I was talking about. I mean, what were these called again? What was that show called? Then there was a show, and they had a Ronald Reagan, and like, do you think that these guys are going to make a comeback with a Donald Trump thing? Look at this. And do you guys feel that like Madonna still owes me a blowy or what? Nikki, I'm trying to get a rise out of Nikki, and she's not there. All right, Annmarie. They weren't called Muppets. What were they called? What was that show called?
I don't know. I'm still in shock that Sam got so mad about a passport. We actually debated passports. Not anything else.
He told you to F off and left the show. That was kind of wrong.
But don't you think it's ridiculous over passports? But over a passport, the need of buying a passport. And he said there's
we have people watching. If one of them is Sam, come back in, Sam. I mean,
yes, and it's ridiculous. We fought over a passport. Not over the wall, not over border tax, not over imports, exports, not anything like to do with politics. I mean, we fought over the need of a passport.
Yeah, because you were making everything fucking personal.
That is the greatest video ever.
Okay, there she is. What was I mean, what was, these weren't Muppets. What was there was like a show that came out after this video of these like humanoid puppet things. What was that called? I mean, maybe it was the name of the production house that did it. Genesis Land of Confusion, but amazing video, right? Remember, it was Ronald Reagan and Nancy and
Disturbed did an updated version. They did a cover of this, and it's a cartoon kind of.
Okay. Oh, look, exactly what I was talking about. There's a Trump one.
Well, they're almost.
I was saying.
Crank Yankers. Was it Crank Yankers?
No, Crank Yankers came after.
Yeah, I watched that.
Crank
That
Yankers
was so
That was
terrible.
good. Special ed.
It's kind of like Jerky Boys or something, but that Genesis Land of Confusion is way before any of that. I mean,
yeah. It
I'm
wasn't
gonna
like
put in Muppets. I know they weren't Muppets, but they were
the
something
Dark
like
Crystal.
them.
The Dark Crystal. Algra.
Oh.
Did it come out of the Dark Crystal production?
I don't know. It kind of looks like remember Algra, the old lady with the eye.
Yeah. I just can't seem to find it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not, focusing exactly on the right searches right now.
There's
Just
the
live
Disturbed Land of Confusion at the top
in the
there.
land of confusion. Can you get a little bit of this?
He reminds me of Stilson from
I mean, this is probably old enough that I can just play a little bit without like getting a copyright like thing. And so the Muppetry or puppetry that's like Muppetry, but like
it's like a marionette almost, sort of.
Yeah, that you recognize. No, but I think they were life size though. You said a marionette.
They're
but
like caricature puppets.
Yeah. There was a I guess Australian maybe. And then but they had a show. They had a show after that. Like that's what I'm trying to think of. Anyways, forget it. Now would be a good time to go to Sam's deaths, but since Sam abandoned the show with an FU to Annmarie, Annmarie, there were a couple deaths, and we do have to get to the obituary column this week on the show. We did lose MTM Mary Tyler Moore. Is that correct, Annmarie?
Oh, I'm trying to text Sam and tell him to please come back on the show.
Oh, how nice of you. I appreciate that, Annmarie. All right. Well, let's not stop you from doing that. How did you feel about the passing of Mary Tyler Moore? And I think she's really attractive. I mean, I've only seen, obviously I've seen like a bunch of her, even as she got older, but I mean, her younger stuff and like, she's just a fixture. She's adorable and a fixture of Hollywood, and her passing is pretty sad, right? I mean, Nikki, how did you feel about it?
I'm from near Danville, Illinois, where Dick Van Dyke is from. So it was kind of like that dual thing you see there in the middle, Dick Van Dyke and
Dick
Mary
Van Dyke.
Tyler Moore.
What about Buddy Holly?
I didn't know anything about them.
Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore. Oh, they were the favorite couple, right?
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know.
And, yeah, Dick Van Dyke.
I only knew it from Dick Van Dyke, the Dick Van Dyke Show, and like I said, he's from Danville, Illinois. So, and I'm from Westville, which is right next to it. So, and she was, a household icon. Nick at Night, growing up.
Who did you
You know,
like
my
more?
dad had diabetes, and she was very much, you know, an advocate for diabetes studies. So
Sort of
I don't
around
know. Yeah, it's
I love
sad. I don't think it's as
I Love
impactful.
Lucy time, like it started out in black and white, like I Love Lucy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and they had two different. I believe they had two different Dick Van Dyke shows. One where it was where she was kind of the housewife, and then later on she was the housewife, but it was a different. You know, it was more modern, and she was less.
And she was dancing and stuff and doing the
Yeah,
hips.
she wore
She wore black
pants
stretch,
on TV. It was a big
black.
thing.
She wore yoga pants.
I love those pants. They make, you know, they're slimming, they're black, they're attractive. It's like Uma Thurman in
Yeah, you
Fiction.
know, I mean, like this picture on my screen,
Class.
like, oh, wearing a pair of capris is what they
Yeah,
call
it's
them.
just classy, you know.
But that was new and different. That was new and different because it wasn't like a skirt or a dress, right? Is that
Right, because
is that
that
the
was,
same
you
as
know,
what
it's
you're
just one
saying?
of
It
those
was like,
things you don't do. It was so modern. I
and
don't think
it
that
looks like just real quick, it looks like she might not be wearing a bra. Is that part of it too, or maybe she is wearing a
she's
bra,
wearing a bra.
like a pointy bra or something?
Yeah, that was the time that was the era of pointy bras. Look at the 50s. It was the bullet bras.
Bullet bras.
Mhm.
It's like you had two guns on your chest, huh?
Why do you think that it was?
Did
You know,
you
where do you
think?
think it gets the nickname?
Do you think that Dick Van Dyke was attractive? I mean, I don't know. These little
Uh,
goofy pants right here, but I mean, they were a all-star.
They were from a time that when vaudeville was getting out of popularity and it was going towards movies. They had faces. He has a face that shows like Jerry Lewis, not attractive, but very. Their faces show a lot of their emotion in their acting. So that was looked at back then as very, you know, necessary. He had a very vivid face. He could act with his face. So.
His character, right? I mean, his character,
Yes.
Right? Yeah, good.
So that was like Lucy. She wasn't traditionally attractive, but because she could, and again, coming out of the vaudeville phase where it was silent movies, people had to be, you know, from silent movies where you had to show your acting with your body movements in your face to be a character actor, like Mary Tyler Moore. You know, they're dancing. You don't see a whole lot of that anymore. Not typically. Not everybody's. There's not as much. I guess acting as they did.
I didn't, before you say it, really know so much about her being revolutionary for women in pants.
Oh, yes.
I didn't realize how big of a deal that was. But apparently
it was because when she transitioned from being the office girl, you know, in the other Mary Tyler Moore, wasn't she like she was the news lady or whatever?
You know, I mean, I'm not saying it's before my time. I mean, I know who Mary Tyler Moore is and everything.
Well,
but
I'm trying to think because I watched Nick at Night, so I got all the reruns.
Yeah.
None of it.
I mean,
like,
our knowledge. I'm not saying you're like 90 or anything. I'm just saying like our knowledge of Mary Tyler Moore is nostalgic at best, or it's not nostalgic. It's more like pseudo nostalgic, where we learned about it like after the times that it really was, or like, I mean,
right.
I was only like a little kid when like,
and I didn't realize how revolutionary it was for the time.
Yeah, that's the point too, right?
Single woman at one point or something, like, because the Dick Van Dyke show, the Mary Tyler Moore show, they're different. You know, and you don't realize that as a child, and you know, maybe.
Also this week we lost John Hurt, who
I think he's more of an impact than.
I was like, what was he in? And Sam's like, oh yeah, don't you remember when the alien popped out of his chest? Yep. So I mean, he's a British actor, known as, you know, a chameleon. He's been in so many things. Elephant Man, Kane. He was in Lord of the Rings.
People forget he was the Elephant Man.
No, he wasn't the Elephant Man, but he was in the Elephant Man.
Well, because it was a black and it was pretty.
Wasn't it Malkovich? Was it Malkovich or no? Who was the Elephant Man? John Malkovich?
Was it? It wasn't John Malkovich. I think he's too young. But I mean, he's.
Oh yeah, no, it was him. It was John Hurt was the Elephant Man?
I thought so.
Oh, yeah, I said Malkovich. That's stupid, right? That's wrong. John Hurt was the Elephant Man.
Who?
Okay, here we go. We're on a John Hurt best five. We're on John Hurt's best 5 moments, okay? So John Hurt as the Elephant Man. John Hurt was the Elephant Man, not John Malkovich.
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, I think John Malkovich is a little younger than that, although I like his acting.
Yeah, because this is 1980, and obviously he's, a little bit older at that time. But Malkovich. Alien, yeah. So the Alien chest burster scene from the first Alien movie, The Birth of the Xenomorph, that was amazing. He was in 1984, based on the book that we all are familiar with, the Orwellian novel, correct? Number 3, The Elephant Man. I am not an animal.
Yeah.
Dead Man, King Ralph. And then
King Ralph. I forgot about that movie. John Goodman.
What's King Ralph? Is that a good movie?
That John Goodman is the last surviving, or so he thinks, surviving heir to some throne of some country or whatever. And I guess England. I don't know. But it turns out that John Hurt's character is
the fish out of water comedy about Las Vegas lounge singer who becomes king of England. Might not be to everybody's taste, but Hurt puts in deliciously villainous turn as Lord Percival Graves, the scheming aristocrat for whom there is nothing is more ghastly than an American. Oh, Americans are ghastly, and that's like the character that he plays. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, John Hurt, another one that we lost, and may they and anyone that passed this week, may they rest in peace, right?
Barbara.
Wow. Annmarie, any luck in getting Sam back in, even though we just totally covered the obituary column?
No, and I'm sad about it because, me and Sam, we disagree on everything. And, I felt like we were really friends. I just think it's so silly to disagree about the need for passports, where I'm saying that we need a passport to get back into the country, and he said there's a one-time thing or whatever. I just think that it's so silly. We disagree about so many huge things. We disagree about climate change. We disagree about racism in America. I believe there's racism in America. I believe in Black Lives Matter. And he said that, he didn't believe in that. And we disagree about so many things. We've disagreed about so many things, and we've never had a fight on the show like this.
Just agree. It's much more agreeable to just agree to disagree and not take it to a FU and turn off the light type of thing, right? So, it was a little offensive, as the host of the show and inviting everyone. I hate it when someone drops out, and that's not good. And I apologize, Nikki, you weren't here at the beginning of the show when I explained that my webcam has been devastated by cat claws, and so that's why I've just been on screen share the whole time. It's actually been hard for me to jump in, to the conversation when you can't see me. I think, just being visual on camera, but Nikki's not really on camera, but that's why she's gone silent for long stretches of the show. Amber, you're the only one we can see. Let's just keep the camera on.
On Sunday, we're ready for camera.
You're not camera ready? No, yeah, you're a radio person. I know, you're like me. I have a face for radio. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. That's and Sunday mornings I'm usually doing stuff, and then I'm like, oh shit, it's due. Oh. And then it's too late. So I'm like, and I'm on my computer this time, and I have my blue tape over the camera. So.
It's great, and it's great, and I appreciate you being on the show, your audio, and your commentary, your thoughts, your opinions.
It's a better show. It's a better show.
It's a better show, you think? And I appreciate you, Annmarie, being on. I appreciate when Sam's on. I don't know how much I appreciate when someone drops out. But
well, it means we're passionate about stuff. sometimes
Maybe
maybe
we
not
can get
about the most.
That's a good point. It's all about passion. I don't know how passionate he was about the passports, but I think it was more
He
about.
was really passionate about the passports, but
I think it was more just about fighting for who's talking. So sometimes and I interrupt and talk over, but I feel like we did a good job covering the news. I'd like to just let's just drop all the pretense. Let's just talk about entertainment. What have you seen in entertainment recently? What's been good? But if you had something else, Annmarie, don't let me stop you from talking about it, because it looks like now it looks like you're looking at your notes. Is it about Genesis and Land of Confusion?
Oh, a text back from Sam. He said he can try to relog in.
Okay, great. It'd be great to come back for
Yeah.
entertainment.
I hope Sam, if you're listening, I'm sorry that it got so heated, and and I hope you come back. And hopefully he will come back and log in.
come on back, Sam. We're waiting. I have made a point of staying off of a lot of social media. I didn't want to say anything because I'm not trying to call anybody out, but I had posted something earlier in the week pertaining to the Women's March, and I got a call not long after that pretty much said that I should probably watch what I say if I want to go further in any kind of thing.
What are you? Whoa! What are you talking about? You were making. I
was quieted a little bit.
You were, wait. Start again. You were posting on Facebook.
Yeah.
Is that how it started?
Yeah.
And you were posting about.
Facebook, but I'm involved in a lot of different things. And
is this a work-related matter? Are you sure you want to talk about this?
Well, not necessarily work-related. Just like I said, I'm involved in a lot of things I probably should not. But I think that, yeah, maybe I should not. Never mind.
If it's a work thing, I don't want it to affect your work in any way. But if you want to generalize it to make another point, like
it's not work.
Okay, but you were commenting on Facebook, and then what happened? Just generally.
Not just me, but different stuff that's put out there. Okay, so I'll take it not personal. But why are women talking so loud? Why don't they put it in a different way? Why are these women being so vulgar? All these things that women are marching to be heard, of course. Just seeing people say, well, you could do it. And it was a conversation with a friend. And, well, you should do it in a different way that tells Trump that, hey, you're great for wanting to help America and be great, and put him on the spot. And
does the F word not help the cause? Is that where you're driving?
I think that's immaterial. Men have used it all the time. It doesn't matter what Madonna would have said, if she would have said the F word, if she would have said the P word, any of that. Anything the media that wants to take it negative would take it negative. And people that want to take it positive will put it positive. So the wrong reasons for the march, and being told that we should be more quiet about our protesting, we should be cleaner about our protesting, when in fact it was shown that the signs were put exactly where they were supposed to be, and it was actually one of the cleanest marches out there that they've ever had in Washington, D.C.
Oh,
and it just hurt. Like,
it's
hard to explain to people that this is why women are marching, because they're being told they're too loud, because they're being told that their voice doesn't matter and their bodies is not their own. And this isn't saying, I'm not going to get into the pro-choice, pro-life, pro-whatever, because it's not all about abortion. It's the fact that I just posted something today. Can you imagine if Hillary wrote something that said, you can't ejaculate unless it's for procreation? How how do you think that would go over?
Exactly.
So when people tell me, oh, well, you could march, but why do you march so loud? Why do you march so loud? Why do you have to be so vulgar?
So you're standing up for loudness and vulgarity?
Are you going to listen to us sitting down quietly? Not you specifically.
No, I mean, good point.
At what point has any that perfect guy or whatever, the guy that took,
you have to make noise. You have to make some noise, or you have to do something that's recognizable. You have to make some noise.
Right. It was the least violent, the least dirty protest there was out there, and we're still told that we should. One guy actually told me I would never let my daughter have Madonna as a role model. I said, what? I said, you're the reason you wouldn't let your daughter. I won't let. Whenever a man says that, it shows that's why women are marching. But
I saw that.
Huh?
Did you have any opinions about billionaire George Soros has ties to more than 50 partners of the Women's March on Washington?
And Nikki's making some really great points here. I mean, forget that conspiracy.
But I had this question.
Yeah, but that's like, I mean, Nikki, I saw that on your Facebook. Someone post that, and I liked when you commented to that.
What did they say? I don't. What was the argument?
I said that I noticed for a moment that the only people that are commenting negatively on the march have been white men, because black men, and this was a personal opinion on my page, black men know the fight for equality. And I was told that it was racist and that I should take it down. I don't feel it was racist. I feel it was apt. But I took it down, and I felt it was just, I don't want a bunch of white men thinking that I'm calling them racist, so maybe I should watch what I say. It didn't sit very well with me.
Annmarie, your thoughts?
I just texted Sam. I hope he comes back.
Your thoughts on what Nikki's dealing with there?
Oh, and you took down something that was. What did you have to take down? Something that was.
I identify as a black male. I was not offended in any way. I think it's fine. I think what you said is fine. And
you know what? The opinion was fine for what it was, but to be told that maybe I shouldn't say something like that if I want to.
Want to what? Do you want to stress that it was your opinion, and it's just like your opinion, bro? You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what did it say? What did it say?
I would assume it's my opinion. See, the fact that I'm nervous about talking about it makes me sad, because.
Look, yeah, no nervousness here. I mean, if you have an opinion, I mean, go ahead and state it. I mean, if Sam is like F you and just leaves the show, I guess that was his opinion.
It could literally affect me in my life for an opinion.
Didn't I warn you?
No, I understand, but I'm just saying, though, the fact that I'm nervous about sharing my opinion is why we're marching.
Okay, well, let me just tell you that, in my opinion, you shouldn't be worried about expressing your opinion because you have a First Amendment right to do so. But I understand that, like, obviously, I'm not going to go on my Facebook right now to, like, my business page and just start spouting my opinion, so freely and fancily, especially if I've been drinking, and then have the boss, like, come down on me.
I don't drunk Facebook.
You don't drink in Facebook.
The person that told me this, a male friend of mine had shared it, but they had no intention of telling that person the same thing, and we are like the exact same kind of ties.
I know, but are you like Are you on some kind of mission to call out white males? Because, I mean, that...
No, that wasn't even the main part of the post. It was turned into that being the main. No, not at all.
Have you seen that video?
No. I actually don't have anything against any particular race, but I do think that white males, white people have less of a fight for equality over the course of the United States. That's just a fact.
Skrillex. You haven't seen Skrillex?
That's weird. No, I don't have anything against white males. The fact is they've had less struggle for equality. That's just a fact, not an opinion. They didn't have to fight for the right to vote or to own land. They didn't have to fight to be able to marry who they want. So...
No, you're a fucking white male. You're a fucking white male.
I don't succumb to propaganda. I'm not a feminazi. I'm not a man hater, and I don't dislike any particular race. But the facts are that white males have less of a struggle and have had less of a struggle over the course of years. So when they talk about the fight for stuff and how we need to sit down and not be so loud.
No, everyone needs to stand up. If you don't stand for anything, you'll fall. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. That's what I say.
Was that Johnny Cash?
Public Enemy, I think. Or I don't know. So they got it from somewhere. Maybe Johnny Cash. Billionaire George Soros has ties to more than 50 partners of the Women's March in Washington. I don't know if you saw that. I mean, the news sort of came out after the march happened. And today on the Drudge Report, it said earlier, Soros finances opposition to all the Trump's
I'm not getting any money. I mean, I think it's a little ridiculous because there's a lot of people who oppose Trump. There was even people within his own party that opposed Trump. And, you know, I'm not getting any money from George Soros. I mean, it's a conspiracy theory.
You're doing it wrong. Why aren't you getting any money from George Soros? You're doing it all wrong, huh?
That might be some of those emails. You know how we were talking about the WikiLeaks released the emails that, you know, the DNC emails that, you know, showed Hillary in a bad light.
I thought we tied all that to Russia.
But maybe some of those things that weren't released in the emails from Donald Trump and things that pertain to Donald Trump that they did not release. Remember, at the time, the Republicans were against Donald Trump and trying to find a way to demean him and diminish him, you know, in the election. So maybe that's not very flattering to Trump. And we saw people even come out. Jeb Bush came out later on and did an interview where he said he was against Trump. I mean, maybe maybe. That's a big maybe. Yeah, everything you said was maybe.
Like Soros is bankrolling everything. Who's really in charge of
that's not a maybe. That's like what's happening. He's bankrolling effort to stop Trump temporary refugee halt. I mean, he's bankrolling the Women's March. He's bankrolling everything for millions and millions of dollars. He spent $300 million on Hillary's campaign. I mean, he's worth $25 billion. So when he gets,
are you saying this is a bad thing? I guess is what I'm asking.
I'm saying that Soros just every time his name comes up, he's like, "Oh, I'm giving all this money to destroy America," and it's like, dude, can't we stop this fucking geezer? He's like a fucking geezer.
Okay, Trump's 70.
He's an old geezer too, but he's young. I don't know. He's got like a vibrancy. Like Bill Clinton and Donald Trump are the same age. Do they look the same age?
I don't know why you're mad about him spending money to do something he wants to do.
Okay. So he can just spend his money to do whatever he wants to do? I mean, including like shorting? Dude, he's betting money against you and your life. He's trying to short everything about you through the banks.
He's not pay, but the thing about this conspiracy
based on his bank account.
But Soros,
okay.
I just think that that's a big conspiracy that he funded the women's march. Like every woman who marched got paid by George Soros. No, I mean, I'm not getting paid by George Soros. You know, and even look at JFK Airport. There was protests that happened.
It was what, 600 countries that were involved or something?
Protesters do grow out of nowhere at Kennedy Airport after Iraqis are detained, but I can't read anymore because I've reached my limit of 3 this month.
Oh,
thank you.
Read the press.
Thank you, New York Times. You know what I do though? I just go to my other browser and then I can read it. Loopholes. Internet loopholes. Nikki,
Sam texted that he's going to turn around, and he's
going to turn around.
He's going to try to come back on.
He was about to drive his car off a cliff after what happened. Turning around. Okay, so he's like Thelma and Louise if they turn the car around. Great. All right, Nikki.
Well, I don't know if he's in his car, but
he's going to turn around. No, just in the living room, he's just going to turn around. Nikki, how do you feel about it?
What?
How do you feel about the potential of Sam coming back to the show? Should we invite him, graciously, or should we immediately? As soon as he comes back,
very important to some people. I can't.
As soon as he rejoins the show, should we immediately condemn him for what he did and said earlier?
What?
Or should we just say welcome back? Welcome back, Sam. What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, what? No, those aren't my words.
I have so much fun chatting with you guys. This is hilarious. All right. How did you feel about the fact that they have not incorporated Spanish on the whitehouse.gov yet, Annmarie?
Well, we have no national language in this country, so they're not going to. But I mean, go ahead.
You think English should be the official language and is part of assimilation to America?
No, there is no national language.
I think that's what you just said. But there's no Spanish on the website yet, and it's not an oversight. I mean, Sean Spicy Spicer said it's coming soon. Obama obviously had it. I don't know if he had it in Arabic as well or whatever, but
really?
Do you think we need more than just English on the whitehouse.gov, Nikki?
Yes.
There's over 382 languages in use in the United States. Should they all have their own pages? There's over 382 languages spoken in the United States. Should they all have their own page, or just Spanish?
I think there's. I think I would put.
Should we have the whitehouse.gov in Arabic?
Arabic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a spoken language in the United States, so we should have that.
Yeah, we at least have a translation page. Why not? Whatever. Doesn't Google that are used.
Doesn't your browser, doesn't Google already have a translation feature? I mean, couldn't I use my browser to translate this website if I so chose to do?
I would say if Facebook can do it, do what Facebook does. Put it in pirate. I don't give a shit as long as you
put it in pirate. Hi, matey.
If Facebook can do it, I think that whitehouse.gov can do it.
Peg leg.
That would be great.
Hi, matey. I don't know what else. I remember pirate. I remember pirate on Facebook. I haven't done that in a long time. I'll put it in.
Forgot about that feature.
That's hilarious. Annmarie, did you ever put your Facebook into pirate mode? And all your language was like, "Hey, matey."
I just think, why not? I think
Those
that
are
they're
like-
not doing it on purpose, and that's more bothersome. It's not about what they have on there, it's about why they're not.
Nikki, should Johnny Depp make another Pirates of the Caribbean? He's so good as Jack Sparrow, right?
I've never seen one. I've never seen one.
I'm not a big fan
Never
either. I've
watched
only seen the
Pirates
first
of-
one. I just know that, I don't know, for some reason, apparently he's capitalized because when I think about
Looks
pirate
like-
mode,
He looks
yeah, when I
like
think
a
about pirates, I think
pirate.
about, yeah, swarmy.
I really have never seen any of them.
Yeah, you're probably better off. All right. Hollywood had a meltdown. Journalists freak out. We have to click on all these links. It's so funny though when we do the Sunday show because like last week, Annmarie, like you brought up so many topics that actually, how should I say, like sort of like you brought them up sort of before it was news. I mean, it was news, but like the stuff that you were bringing up last week, then like the whole entire week, like all that stuff was coming out. Like I mentioned earlier about how you were like, oh yeah, did you see the alternative facts? And then that turned into a giant hashtag like all week. And there was a bunch of fighting all week about crowd sizes. And like, if you look at the megapixel pictures, I mean, the crowd was huge. And they're like, oh, look at this one picture at like 8 o'clock in the morning. It's like, dude, I don't know. There was a bunch of
I think
fight about that. And what's going on over there? Are you still are you like texting Sam this whole time or what are you doing?
I did. I'm
You're not
hoping
even
that Sam
listening.
will come
You're
back.
not even fucking listening. You haven't heard one word I said. I'm like, go ahead, Annmarie. And you're like, what are you talking about? Nikki, go ahead. Nikki, what's on the top of your radar in news and information? And did you see the robot that says, I'm not a robot? I don't know what you guys are looking at.
I watched the one robot that talks to the other robot.
Did you see the robot that repeatedly escaped his lab in Russia? That was pretty funny. That's already happened. So
what about the pig boy, the pig man hybrid?
Oh yeah. Where's that one? Okay, so talk about it. Did you know that the Bionic Penis Man is going to star in an adult film? He has a bionic penis. Oh, did you see the amputee cats with bionic legs? That's what we need to look up right now.
Why not the pig person? Do you think that that's the only thing that they've made? So if that's not they destroyed that. So if that's not as bad as destroying a bunch of cells.
There's a name for that. What do you call that? Not a symbiote, not a hybrid. There's like another name. When you cross not anthropomorphic, but there's another name.
Playing God.
Like no, but there's a Dr. Moreau Island name for when you have a half animal, half human. What's that called?
I don't remember. Chimera?
Yeah, boom, that's it. Chimera. Yep, that's what I was trying to think of.
But how
Chimera.
is destroying that not wrong, but...
So you want me to look this up? I'll look it up. Pig, human, chimera. Okay, so that doesn't even come up. Hybrid. Pig, human, hybrid?
Yeah.
No, but I thought... Oh, Jesus, that's not real. I thought essentially they were just trying to grow body parts, human body parts within a pig. Is that what's going on?
I don't know. There's the...
Okay, here are the facts. Human-pig hybrid. Human-pig hybrid created in the lab. Here are the facts. Scientists hope the chimera embryos represent key steps toward life-saving lab-grown organs. See, that's what I just said. I'm like, they're trying to just grow the organs in them. Like, I don't know if it's a heart, but maybe a kidney or something. Let's see. In a remarkable, if likely controversial feat, scientists announced today that they have created the first successful human-animal hybrids. The project proves that human cells can be introduced into a non-human organism, survive, and even grow inside a host animal. In this case, pigs. Wow. This biomedical advance has long been a dream and a quandary for scientists hoping to address a critical shortage of donor organs. Oh, that's easy. Just go to China where we can fucking kill all the people that do yoga and just take all their organs. Or Falun Gong. Every 10 minutes, a person is added to the national waiting list for organ transplants. And every day, 22 people on that list die without the organ they need. What if, rather than relying on a generous donor, you could grow a custom organ inside an animal instead?
To hell with the animal thing. Why am I echoing?
It's probably because of me. Sorry. That's now one step closer to reality, Nikki. An international team of researchers led by the Salk Institute reports in the journal Cell. The team created what's known scientifically as a chimera, an organism that contains cells from two different species. You can read more about that. In the past, human-animal chimeras have been beyond reach. Such experiments are currently ineligible for public funding. Yeah, because we don't want those in the United States.
People don't stop to think about whether or not, they think about whether they can, not whether they should.
Right?
I'm just saying, people are like, oh my God, abortion's wrong. Hey, let's create human-pig hybrids and then kill them.
In ancient civilizations, Nikki, chimeras were associated with God, says one of the scientists at the Institute. Our ancestors thought the chimeric form can guard humans. In a sense, that's what the team hopes human-animal hybrids will do one day. Yeah, we need a team of fucking lichens and fucking
oh my God.
we need lichens and vampires to protect us from the underworld. Is that what we're talking about here, Nikki?
Yes.
And where did everyone else go?
I don't know.
Nikki, what do you think?
I think that we're getting into dangerous territory. Again, I think people are trying to see if they can, not thinking about whether or not they should.
Nikki, what do you think?
I think it's a bad idea.
Great. All right. Well, building a chimera. There are two ways to make a chimera. The first is to introduce the organs of one animal into another, a risky proposition, because the host's immune system may cause the organ to be rejected. Nikki, are you there?
I'm here.
The other method is to begin at the embryonic level, introducing one animal's cells into the embryo of another and letting them grow together into a hybrid. Sounds weird, but it's an ingenious way to eventually solve a number of vexing biological problems with lab-grown organs.
They're trying to
When scientists discovered stem cells,
about it.
the master cells that can produce any kind of body tissue, they seem to contain infinite scientific promise. But convincing those cells to grow into the right kinds of tissues and organs is difficult. Cells must survive in petri dishes. Scientists have to use scaffolds to make sure the organs grow into the right shapes. And often, the patients there at the hospital, they must undergo painful and invasive procedures to harvest the tissues needed to kick off the process. Nikki, this sounds like a very extreme procedure. And I don't know if anyone's going to survive this. If I need a new ear, like Stephen Colbert, maybe it could grow on the back of a fucking rat or a mouse. Sam, are you there? Samuel, looks like you're joining me. Is my sound not on? Can I not hear you guys?
I can hear you.
I don't see your little volume things upticking, but I don't see you on mute.
I'm not on
Am I
mute.
the only one with sound? And are we still broadcasting? Because we have 3 people watching. Speak up if you're there. I keep looking down
I
at my
am here.
speaker. That looks like it's greening it for sound.
After all these years, you forget.
No,
that
Sam
when
is
I
talking.
log on, I have to go ahead and set my volumes. You forget that every time. Oh, now something happened.
Sam, are you there? Because I cannot hear you.
You should be.
Go ahead.
You can't hear me? You should be able to hear me.
Oh, Jesus. Sam, my bad. Obviously, I can't hear you if my volume is turned down to 0. Oh, my God. Nikki was probably yelling at me, and I couldn't hear her. Nikki, are you there?
I am.
Were you yelling at me, and I couldn't hear you?
I wasn't yelling. I was speaking at some point.
And I just kept talking over you because I couldn't hear you. I really apologize. Somehow my volume was down at 0, and I didn't realize that. So if you were talking and I wasn't hearing the points that you were making, I really apologize. I just kind of kept going for it, and I kept saying, Nikki, are you there? And but it was my – if you were saying something, it was my fault. Sam, we're fucking up the whole show. Earlier, you're like, fuck off, and you just, bailed the show.
I was much more upset about being silenced while making a point than I was with her not agreeing with the point. In any event, I came in the middle of rat ears and dead silence from DLAKE. What are the rat ears?
Okay, well, could you not hear? Ideally, people could hear me, even though I could not hear them. Nikki and I were talking. Well, obviously, it was just me because I couldn't hear her for a little bit there, but it started with us talking about hybrids and chimeras and human animal. It's called a chimera, right, Nikki? Yeah, I have my volume turned up. Nikki, are you there? Sam, are you there?
It is a chimera, yes.
Yeah, chimeras. That's what we're.
There's actually a band called Chimera. I think they're from Cleveland. If Nikki's mic was working, she would definitely know Chimera.
All right, Sam. I think you and I together fucked up everything, and the girls are mad at us.
I don't think Nikki's mad at you for a technical glitch, but I'm more worried that it is a technical glitch that has led us to lose Nikki. But if we are doing entertainment until we get Nikki back, Nikki, just hop in when your mic works. That's
Sam. I don't know if you were watching, but I have to apologize that we already did the obituary section while you were out.
Well, I'm going to have to quickly give a shout out here to John Hurt, who died. No matter what, the man, DLAKE, that's the man who the alien came out of his chest.
We did that.
That's the Elephant Man, the man. It's terrible. It's
the Elephant Man.
Absolutely terrible. The other thing I will have to give him a better send off on my show now if that's already been covered because
of all the wonderful things he does. Sam just dropped out. Nikki, are you there? It looks like you're there, but I cannot hear you. But I have the volume turned up. You're not on mute. Nikki, are you there?
Yeah,
looks like Sam. You're there? Are you participating? It looks like Sam is joining us again, Nikki. I already told him that it was wrong what he said with the F word and everything. I reprimanded him. Sam, you're reprimanded. Sam.
Google's reprimanding me. I can't even get back on the show. I'm getting every time I log out.
I reprimanded you. All right, yeah. Google got my executive order. All right, we covered John Hurt with the alien chest burster, also the Elephant Man.
It's miserable that he died.
We discussed the White House not being in Spanish while you were gone, Sam. Glad you're back. Did you have any science news for today, Sam? Science?
Originally, my science was, let me call it up. It's loading this slowly. Molasses. Radioactive contamination spreading in shuttered hand-filled nuclear site. A lot of people think that the grief goes down. Let me see if I can get the screen share to work. Nothing else wants to work. We can see if by some miracle.
Hey, Sam.
Yes.
When I look up Sam's science, the media speaks. There's about 78,700,000 results. And there's a couple of our videos right there, right at the top. Sam Science, a bunch of our shows, the media speaks. Sam talking about science stuff. Yeah, it's all right at the top. Amazing.
Well, I hope this one goes up high because a lot of people think that when they shut down a nuclear power plant, that the worst of the disaster is then over. This is from January 6th. The Hanford site in Washington hasn't been operational since 1967. But continues to spread radioactive waste with a demolition date earmarked as late as 2032. Although it hasn't been operational for nearly 50 years, it says a report published by the Tri-County Herald is found that radioactive contamination is spreading inside the plant's reduction oxidation complex and could be worsened as the facility deteriorates. It's roughly half the size of Rhode Island, the entire facility. And because redox is located so deeply in the center, preventing the problem from worsening isn't going to be cheap. The report recommends $148 to $181 million spent. The site processed 24,000 tons of irradiated uranium fuel rods to prove plutonium for nuclear weapons during the Cold War. Signs of animal intrusion, this is very bad, have been found at the plant where plastic bags were attached to the processing line to catch any residual nitrate. Now, that would mean that any radioactive waste that they would get onto them would be immediately transferred to anything they came in contact with. Absolute disaster, and I wanted to mention that on the science front. Once we get these monsters shut down, we are not out of the woods. Really?
So we're not out of the woods, Sam?
But once you get them shut down, the nightmare has only just started. And the last thing that I
have any positive solution ideas for this, Sam? What would you do if you were maybe in Trump's position? What would you recommend President Trump do about this?
Immediately end all subsidies for nuclear power plants. They cost so much to insure due to the decimation that they cause when they die, that when they go red, or even to clean up if they don't go red, if they don't melt down. Mm-hmm. Pulling all of the funding away from the nuclear power industry would end the nuclear industry overnight.
Okay. And would you recommend President Trump signing an executive order like he's been doing just
Well, I mean, a lot of his executive orders are for things that are, he's writing executive orders to obey the law. We have border laws, so he's writing executive orders that says that we're going to enforce them. They shouldn't.
I mean, everything he's doing is within his purview, and essentially he's saying we have laws already on the books, and I've heard him say this specifically, is that we don't need to just make a bunch of new laws. We just execute the laws that we have.
Yes, and that's been a battle cry for a long time from a lot of people. But I'm hoping
mostly Republicans and not Democrats, or
well, I don't know that he's released any kind of an opinion on nuclear power, unfortunately.
I wish Annmarie would come back because I had one more question for her. But Nikki, how did you feel about what Sam's talking about?
I don't know a whole lot about the plants there.
Nikki, were you thinking, why the fuck is Sam back? I thought he left. Or are you glad to have him?
Annmarie wanted me to come back, and she's not here. She texted me just a second ago.
I know. I just messaged her and said, Sam's back. Get back in here. All right, Nikki, how do you feel about Sam being back? Are you offended?
No. I mean,
I'm messing with you. All right, Nikki, what are your thoughts about all these orders that Trump is signing? Are you offended by that? I mean,
again, I think it's a power play on his part. He wants to look strong, and I think Putin is who he wants to look strong in front of.
And so just to counter that with a quick question, would you rather that the new president look weak?
I don't think that it has to be one or the other. That's the fallacy. It doesn't, just because he doesn't do things that make him look over strong, just because he doesn't do those things isn't going to make him look weak.
I mean, but for the past, well, I won't say 8 years, but at least the past 4 years, I felt that Obama looked weak on several occasions, and he's just playing golf, and serious shit happens, and he just
the last time he tried to work with Putin, everybody was up in arms, like we were going to go to bed with them. But now it's okay with Trump.
Hillary brought Russia that stupid red push button reset button. It's like a Staples commercial. It's ridiculous. Just get your red buttons out of here. Hillary tried and failed to make. Hillary tried to make relations with Russia work. She tried and she failed in her campaign. Trump made it work, and then they blame Russia for interfering with our elections without any evidence whatsoever.
So I think any power plants that aren't doing what they should do and they're doing things against nature should definitely be shut down and not subsidized. I don't know enough about them, but Chernobyl was a big thing, and it's still in a bad way there.
Oh, yeah, Chernobyl. Yeah, Chernobyl's still fucked up, dude. Look, you know what? And Sam is a big, Sam's always talking about Fukushima. And Sam, can you talk about the comparison of Chernobyl and Fukushima events? And I mean, what are the actualities of anything like that in America happening? And the scariest part is, I know what he's going to say. It's going to happen where I live.
Well, not just that. The problem is worse than where it's going to be. The trouble is that they create massive amounts of health problems even when they are running properly. We see this with what they call routine releases. Dr. Helen Caldicott refers to them as routine cancers. The first thing about Fukushima in comparison to Chernobyl is that Chernobyl cost thousands of lives from the people that cleaned it up, but they were called the runners. They managed to contain it somewhat in that sarcophagus that they have to keep repairing every few years. Fukushima is ongoing for two reasons. First of all, they don't even know for sure where the core is in one of them, and it's very likely hit the water table. Second of all, it created what is called a melt out, which we've never seen before, and it's when the core of the reactor is blown out of a nuclear reactor. The only thing that could have... Here's a good way to put it into perspective. There are parts of Japan that were less radioactive 2 years after they were bombed than parts of this power plant are 5 years after it went red. Obviously, when I say this, I don't mean the bomb, obviously, because of what that would have done in terms of warfare and in terms of, killing people when it hit. In terms of radioactive output, It would have been better if they had just been bombed. They have no idea how to contain this, but they do have the core spread all over Tokyo in what's called a melt out, which is when the core blows up and goes into the atmosphere and comes down as a black goo.
Mm-hmm.
If you type in Tokyo black goo or Tokyo melt out, it'll come up. It's not pleasant. Very bad. As Chris Busby said, the worst disaster in recorded history. I melt in the moonlight. There it is. I think it's the bottom right, the bottom one on the right, second row. I think. I'm not sure.
And I'm getting a bunch of weird results, but you're saying it's from. I didn't even spell
Second
Tokyo
row,
right.
second row, far right. If it's what I think it is, I think that's the goo. No, that's a cat. It looked like a goo from the thumbnail. It is. It's a Chris the physicist Arnie Gunderson does a video where he is talking about. Type in Arnie Gunderson. Oh, that works too. Fukushima goo. I don't know if it's gonna come up as goo. I think goo is my word. Yeah. No, hold on a minute. Go ahead and talk for a second while I find this.
I don't know. I'm not even on Google. I'm on stupid fucking Yahoo. All right. Are we joined again by no, we're not. Nikki, how do you feel about what Sam was talking about? I don't know. I'm kind of getting lost in this. I'm just trying to do like a screen share thing because I don't have my camera today. Go ahead, Nikki.
Which part?
Are you concerned? I mean, you're the one that brought up Chernobyl, and like, Sam and I went off on a rabbit hole about like, what if something like that happened in America? I don't know if we actually even got to that. How do you feel about Chernobyl, Fukushima type event happening in America? And like I said, it would probably happen in California.
And our roads, yeah, I think that we only know how to store nuclear waste even for like 20 years. If we don't keep the upkeep on our plants, on our like the even that one.
Where do we put all that?
Huh?
America's nuclear waste. Where do we put all that shit?
I don't know.
For those who want to find it, I think I'm on screen share. DLAKE, I hope I'm on screen share. This is the video that he talks about it in. It came up instead of the picture, but I did find the video. It was in 2012. And Yatsko there isn't with them anymore. But when Arnie Gunderson starts speaking later on, he starts talking about, I think he even takes the goo off the ground at one point. I don't know where at. But he talks about the readings. It's a 4 minute. There it is. He's this black tarry crap that's there. It's all over. It's part of the core. I'm pointing at it like an idiot. It's part of the core that has blown out and is literally settling in Tokyo. That's the video there. So go and look it up, friends. Radio waste soil found in Tokyo.
All right, that's great. Thanks for pointing that out. And there's the link right there. It's on YouTube, and it's at AFA Sky Goddesses page. So everyone go check out that video. Arnie Gunderson talks about radioactive waste-grade soil in Tokyo.
I think we're burying our heads in the sand if we don't think that Fukushima is going to affect us. It's already across the water.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's not going to affect marine life.
Nikki, why don't you spend, Nikki, why don't you spend like a day watching all Sam's videos? Why don't you just spend a day watching Sam's Fukushima reports and then come back and tell us what you think? All right, great. Sam, I think it's been a great show. I mean, I'm kind of stalling here.
She has a solid point. It's coming over here in with the jet stream, and because the jet stream moves, hold on, where the jet stream moves in, think of it like an M over the U.S. Now I can't get off screen share. Normally it won't work. I
want to see that movie, The Founder, with Michael Keaton. Ray
Oh,
Kroc.
yeah, I can't believe there's actually a piece of paper when I need one. All right, this is going to be a really crappy drawing of the USA, but all right, here's my USA.
I'm doing artwork on the show.
Yes,
Okay.
there is my USA. Now,
The United States. You forgot the balls. You forgot Texas. Texas, the balls of the United
I've
States.
added Texas. Okay. Now, if you look at the what I have scribbled in there, those areas are part of Ohio. I know my artwork probably doesn't display that very well.
What is that? A pipeline?
That is the jet stream, and while all of America gets it around the area, but particularly where the jet stream is worse.
So this is a weather. This is a weather map.
The jet stream doesn't distribute the radiation evenly, not even in California.
It just rained hella crazy in California the past week, bro.
Where you are gets it pretty good. So does LA.
We went from drought conditions to like 45% re-watered.
Rewatered?
Yeah, they're no longer under drought conditions.
Yeah, we hydrated. We hydrated, or whatever you call it. Sam, what I wanted to do,
spring here, like we had 2 weeks of spring.
what I was hoping to have Annmarie back on is that Trump is snubbing Prince Charles coming up. He doesn't want to lecture. I think we talked about it. Forget that one.
I think we opened with that, yeah.
I don't know. Are we covering everything? Sam, what about entertainment news? And I started watching The Secret Life of Pets last night. I rented it. I was having a hard time about halfway through because Chris Rock was getting like hell of annoying. But I'll probably finish watching it because I paid to rent it at the Redbox, and I like the dog characters. They're pretty good, Louis C.K. and everything. Have you seen anything good recently, Nikki? Movies or otherwise?
I just binge watched Elementary.
Oh, Elementary?
Yeah.
Is that Sherlock Holmes?
It is.
Did you like it?
And I watched the brand new season 4 of Sherlock. Oh my God. If you
so
like
you
Sherlock,
love everything. You basically love everything detective, mystery, and Sherlock Holmes.
I do. I wear a pea coat. Don't judge me. Oh, and
Do you also wear a top hat and a monocle or anything like that?
And neither does Sherlock. He wears a deer stalker. But no, my son is Jennings Watson. So my son is Jay Watson. I just have to laugh. Just saying.
You named your son Watson?
No, that's his last name. No, his first name is Jennings, but it's Jay Watson, like John or Joan.
Yeah, and every time you say something, he's like, "No shit, Sherlock."
Exactly.
So we got a big Sherlock Holmes fan here. Sam, how do you feel about Sherlock?
I've always loved the books and most of the shows.
Sherlock Holmes is a deer stalker.
Sherlock Holmes' smarter brother was also really good.
Now, Benedict Cumberbatch is on the show, or who's on the show?
Well, it depends on which one. I like the movies. Robert Downey Jr.
The Robert Downey Jr. movies?
Oh, God, yeah, those are great.
And now one's Iron Man and the other's Doctor Strange, so, I mean, that's kind of cool.
I love it. And Benedict was good, and I like all the characters. I liked the BBC, they have a lot of good shows across the board, so.
And how did you feel about Jude Law in the movies? Because I thought he was good, too.
I do, too. Yeah, I like him. I like his, he was a truer John Watson.
He has a hard time. Jude Law, I mean, he's been in some good stuff, but lately he's had a hard time getting a good role. But Watson was a brilliant role for him.
I agree.
I thought
the
chemistry was great in that movie. If I'm doing a movie review here, but I haven't.
That was definitely a great romance.
but I haven't watched. I think I watched like an episode or two of Elementary. I think I need to try to get back into that. And you're telling me that you recommend
really
it.
Good. And at
Really good?
first, you don't. I wasn't sure about first a female, let alone Lucy Liu, but it works, and he personifies the John Watson you think of. You know, because if you look at Sherlock, he's always eating. Like if you look at Watson on Sherlock, any of them, they're always eating. Like that's like in all of them.
Who does
funny.
Lucy Liu? Who does Lucy Liu play?
Watson.
Oh, she's
Instead
Watson?
of John Watson, she's Joan Watson.
On Elementary? Oh no, this I haven't watched. That's Elementary. Okay, I haven't watched this yet. I watched it was like a Sherlock Holmes TV show, but it was like something. It wasn't this. It was something different.
With Benedict Cumberbatch or whatever. His name
Yeah,
is.
yeah, the Benedict. Yeah, that one. But this one, you're telling me is good?
It is good. Aiden
And
Quinn.
you watched it on Netflix or Hulu or what?
Yeah, I think it's on Hulu.
I like
It's
Lucy
not on
Liu.
Netflix.
I'm a big Lucy Liu fan.
Hey, DLAKE.
Sorry, I'm scrolling through Lucy Liu pictures. What's up?
Update on somebody that I got to talk to, Kagan Loom. For those of you that don't know, Exodus is one of the 4 or 5 bands that helped create thrash metal. And when Jeff Henneman, Slayer, died, Gary Holt from Exodus became the guitar player for Slayer and Exodus. And when they tour, that sometimes creates a problem. The original guitarist for Exodus was Metallica's Kirk Hammett. So rather than see the band disintegrate, they brought in Kagan, and they treat him like a member of the band. An article's up here on Blabbermouth. He said he couldn't be treated better by the band. They said there were some parts you couldn't tell. I may have missed a note or something like that, and I'd sit down and Lee would show me, or even Gary, whose parts he's learning, would show him. And they pretty much taught him the entire Slayer catalog, at least to the degree that they were going to be touring. And it's a very long article, very insightful, and guys are going to want to go and check that out. I wanted to put that. Just excellent people if you have a chance to meet them. I wasn't a real big fan of Rob Dukes here, but a lot of people like him. I was very happy with Steve. I think I played with
Sam, I mean, does Nikki know all this stuff as a rock rager? I mean, I'm not really
most
familiar.
likely.
I feel like you're talking to a niche.
I don't know anything
audience.
about that.
Exodus?
I feel like you're
don't
talking to a niche
metal.
audience, but I mean, I was just looking at Lucy Liu pictures, Sam, but you're saying this is important. These are the founders of the thrash metal.
It would probably be Megadeth, Exodus, Testament, Slayer, and Anthrax.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of guys.
I'm a really shitty metal fan because I don't listen to any of those bands.
You could also mention possibly Creator. And DLAKE, last but not least, the Allman Brothers co-founder Butch Truck dies at the age of 69.
Oh, Sam, we already did the obituary. Butch Trucks? No.
69 isn't even that old either.
Allman Brothers. The fucking Allman Brothers. Oh, that one fucking song. Like, no, I was at this. Oh, man. This is many years ago, but I was at a festival out in the desert, up on the rocks. It was high as fuck, fucking tripping balls and fucking. It was insane. And like, what was the name of that band? They were so good. But they did a fucking Allman Brothers cover. The fucking wind was blowing. The shit was like a music video. The stage, everything was pimped. Keith Mahoopin Productions. And they did a cover of the Allman Brothers song. But like, I wasn't really too familiar with it. But that was like the best song in the world I ever heard. And then they were like, oh yeah, that's Allman Brothers. I'm like, oh, and I went and I love that song, man. Allman Brothers.
Which one was it?
All I'm saying is Allman Brothers.
Which song was it, DLAKE? There's a picture of him when he was younger.
It's just like mostly like just an instrumental that just fucking rips. And like when that band was on guitar and we were in the desert and they were just kept fucking ripping it. Oh, it's so good, man. You know what I'm talking about. The Allman Brothers, it's like their most famous song.
I need to know the
It's like
song.
American something. It's like America or something. I don't know. It's just fucking
An American band?
something like that. It's just a great song.
Well,
I don't
do you like?
I don't know. I'm not a radio disc jockey like Nikki, okay?
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. You gave him the best compliment ever because you didn't know a lot about him, but his music like made your night. So, what better send off could there be?
Allman Brothers. Allman Brothers' best song. That's what it is. Whipping Post. Oh, Ramblin'. Was it Ramblin' Man? No, I don't know. It's one of those. It's a really good one.
Lord, I was born a rambling.
Yeah, but it's not. It's more just like a instrumental that just rips the whole time. It's not like a sing song. It's like an instrumental. I don't know, but they're great. I love the Allman Brothers. Oh man, I'm so sad that we lost Frank.
I figured I would have to bring you the obituary.
What's his name? Frank Trucks?
What are Trucks Allman Brothers?
Sorry.
Otherwise, I'm just getting a bunch of taco trucks.
That didn't work.
There we go. Okay. I'm glad. Oh, I wasn't even. Oh man, I was. I didn't have the camera on my screen at the time. That's funny. Wait, let me go back a page just for people viewing, not just listening. But that was hilarious. When I looked up this Frank truck, we got a bunch of taco trucks, and that's what made
They're hot dog trucks, I think.
hot dog trucks or whatever. Eat at Frank's. That's what made Nick laugh right there.
Yeah, Frank, it wouldn't be a taco if you're eating a Frank.
But when I added Allman Brothers to the mix, you got that. Oh, Nikki. That reminds me. And Sam, you too. And I wish Annmarie was here for this. Next week, guess what we're going to do?
Not a game. I never win any of our games.
A game.
I'm
Next
good
week,
at that.
I'm bringing back the Google autofill for a game.
I've never won one.
I don't usually announce it, so Nikki, don't try to cheat. But if you go back and watch our Google autofill games,
How can you cheat if you don't know the question?
yeah. But let me do.
I'm gonna start typing stuff in.
Every
Yeah, no.
possible thing before next Sunday.
Okay, let me. Okay, wait. Let me see what
How do
I'm
you
on.
cram for that test?
Okay, let me see what I'm on. Okay, let me go to Google. Nikki, have you ever heard of the Google autofill game that we play on the Media Speaks? A game that DLAKE invented.
I'm horrible at it.
Okay,
I can imagine.
Nikki, real quick. Next week we're gonna play a game. I'm gonna orchestrate the game. I'm gonna set it all up. It's gonna be great. I host the game.
I'm going to dress in black and wear ash on my face. I'm horrible.
The way that we play the
I'll
game.
try to be camera available.
Okay, if you haven't seen, yeah, you need to be camera available next week. Okay, try to, at least comb your hair or something.
Okay.
But
That's
so
hard.
no. Listen. This is the way that we play the game. I host the game, and I give you the beginnings of a Google search, and then blank, like Mad Libs, blank, like such and such blank. Okay. If you guess the number 1 autofill, you get 3 points. If you guess the number 2, you get 2 points. If you guess the number 3, you get 1 point. If you guess the number 4, you get 0 points, but I get 0 points. But if you don't guess any of the top 3, then I get 1 point. It's amazing. So I'm gonna okay, I'm on Google, but in a separate window, I'm gonna go to Google because I'm the host. Trump says blank.
Build.
Trump says blank. If I'm on Google and I put in Trump, I put in TRU, and you can already see what's coming up. But in my other screen, I have Trump says blank, and there's top 4. Go ahead and take a guess, Sam. Trump says blank.
Build.
Build?
As in build the wall. Build.
Okay.
Ban.
Trump says build, and Nikki, Trump says blank.
Ban.
Ban?
Ban. B-A-N. Ban.
Okay. Trump says China. Trump says something to Melania. Trump says wrong. Trump says bigly. He doesn't say. He never says bigly. He's saying big league. Big league is what he's saying, but they're like bigly. Bigly is not a word, but he does say bigly.
Bigly.
That's the number 4 answer. Neither Sam nor Nikki guessed correctly, so DLAKE gets 1
I've got
point.
someone to think with. I've got someone to think.
That was a live version, an example of what might be to come. Okay, Sam has an advantage on this. Man caught blank. Man caught blank.
Having.
Sam?
Having, like having sex.
Man caught having. Man caught having what?
I thought you only had the next word, sex.
Man caught sex?
Having sex. So I was going to go with having.
Okay, so man caught having sex. Is your answer?
Yeah, it needs to be like a full thought, really.
I mean, okay, imagine
The more words you add, the more words you add, the harder it is for me to pick one. But if I have to pick 2, I'll put having sex.
all right, okay, I'm just gonna put it on the screen. Here. Man caught
Let's get hers. Oh.
blank. Okay?
I said
Look.
masturbating.
Did you see that? No, I know. Masturbating's not gonna come up. Look. Man caught cheating. Man caught in lathe.
In a lathe.
Man
Oh my
caught
gosh.
That looks up man caught in lathe.
Man caught with
After he
another
was
man.
cheating,
Man caught on fire, man caught on camera, stealing car wash. Sam, man caught in bear trap. He didn't get any of those.
Can we see
That's
the man caught in the bear trap? Never mind.
That's
No,
like the top 8. How about woman caught? What do you think it's going to be? Woman caught blank.
same.
In adultery, cheating.
Adultery, cheating, stealing, voting twice.
So caught.
Voting twice?
Okay, so what about
Oh,
woman?
that's only the voting twice came up because that one woman that was answering the phone for Obama was talking about how to vote twice. So that kind of skewered the poll there on her part.
Okay, what about woman? Woman arrested for. Woman arrested for.
Prostitution?
Did you
UI.
already see?
Oh.
Prostitution, DUI?
She got,
Okay. Hiring a hitman, selling food on
yeah,
Facebook.
see what I mean, Nikki?
Selling food. Oh, DLAKE with another point.
She got
Okay,
DUI. No, she got DUI though.
DUI?
She got DUI.
Where?
I said UI.
Next to last.
Oh, yeah, that's number 7. You only get points for the top 4.
Man, where did that come from?
That's the rules of the game. Okay, we're going to play the game next week.
She
This
needs
is
at least a half point. At least a half point if it comes up at all.
If it comes up at all, you'll get 0.5. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the new rule.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
Sam.
It doesn't help me any. I got the golden goose egg like I do every time we play this game.
Go back and watch our previous episodes. Sam has previously.
No, don't. Please
Yeah,
don't.
no, Sam has previously gotten 0.5 for sort of an answer that was sort of in there. So that's a new rule. If it comes up anywhere, you'll get 0.5. So you said DUI. That was like the number.
No,
7
she
answer,
said
so-
DUI. I said prostitution. Mine wasn't on there.
Yeah, you get nothing. All right. So everyone look forward to that. I think we stalled as long as we possibly could for Annmarie to come back, and we're almost at a 3-hour show or something.
Yeah.
DLAKE for Prez. Sorry, everyone. I need to get a new webcam. I've only been on just.
What happened to your webcam? What did you do to your webcam?
It's not what I did. It's what my cats did, Sam.
Well, that's all right. There's been something horrible that you'll never see now on the show unless I can splice them. I was showing it before I got on. Unfortunately, this is all that remains.
It brings up over 80 million images. Sam, what do you think?
All that remains of my Yoda headphones, my really cool Yoda headphones. They were under the chair. And they were flat on. Indeed.
Did you hear that? I couldn't hear it. All right.
And we got it 3 times in a row. We heard it.
Damn it. All right, great, everyone. I think it's been a great show. DLAKE for Prez, Sam DiGangi, Nikki Darling, Annmarie, previously joining us. Wish she was here for the end of the show. Nikki, real quick, where can everyone find you? I mean, you always talk about your Rock Rage radio and some other stuff you do. Like, what is this chick all about? Where can people find you?
You can listen to my show Saturdays, noon Eastern on Rock Rage Radio. We also have an app you can get free on iTunes or not iTunes, whatever your app store is, or Android. We're also on TuneIn, Facebook. Just type in Nikki Darling or Rock Rage Radio.
What's this Queens of Rock?
We were doing when I had my evening show. We did like a contest with 3 new up and coming bands. It was pretty fun.
Oh, vote Team Nikki, vote Team GG. Okay, cool. So that was like a contest.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
It's not you. It's Megan.
That's not me.
Is that you? That's you.
Yeah, some of those are me.
Finding you.
Instagram, The Real Nikki Darling.
Sexy BCA right there, whatever you call that thing.
That's me.
That's you. It's not you. You're not Asian.
No, that's not me.
Wait, is this you? No, it's not you.
No.
Oh, yes, it is. It says Nikki Darling. What is this?
I probably shared it then. I never shared that on Instagram. There's a lot of Nikki Darling
photos. Someone put your
not
logo on this picture. How dare they?
That's not mine.
Shared it.
And NikkiLive.com
that
is
is old. That is so old.
That's so old.
I am Nikki Wright. That is my original name.
You have like a piercing right there, like a lip piercing thing.
I did my labrae. Yeah. That was at Bike Week up in.
What do you call that piercing? Your labrae?
Labrae, yeah.
What?
Labrae, Lebret. It's French.
Labrae.
Labrae.
Do you wear a beret?
I would like to. I like them. A raspberry one.
Labrae is like lower lip. I don't know who this is. That's not you. All right, well, great. So everyone can find you there. And Sam, where can everyone find you?
The correct views at hotmail.com is where you can get a hold of me to contact me. I'm at youtube.com/thecorrectviews. You can find Passing Time online, Passing Time Band on Facebook. You can also find, I have a column now on a Conservative Daily Post. That is my job. That is where I work now. And I write Monday through Friday.
An angel, Sam, there. And you love Star Wars.
That's the Hillary Clinton halo. I would only talk about Hillary Clinton if I wore the Hillary Clinton halo.
Sam's in the Lord of the Rings movie or something right here. He's always he's got a bunch of if I just put in I put in Sam DiGangi, the correct views images. There he is. And Sam's got piercings and stuff too. Look at him.
Mine got destroyed. Actually, here's a fun story for everyone.
Here's Sam's favorite picture.
Yes. Here is how Sam lost his eyebrow piercing. If you look here at this bracelet, you will see that it's open on one end there. And I was shooting a video. The video still isn't done. DLAKE edited part of it. He knows the footage well. In it, I go like this, and the line of the song says "Start the fight," and I did it just when I was singing it. And our friend Bino, who's also our videographer, mentioned that it looked really good. He wanted me to try to do the same thing from the other side so that they could be spliced together more easily. So I let the song go through, and I did my whole singing thing over top, because you really sing it. It's just what you're hearing is the studio version, of course. So I'm singing it, and I do the whole start the fight thing, and this gets caught in a circular eyebrow ring. So when I brought my arms down, it ripped it out of, luckily I have bushes. That was the way Sam lost his eyebrow piercing, and it was an X paid for me to get it done. I don't see myself spending the money on it, but it may be someday, because I kind of liked it. The red groovy flowed really well, I can promise you. Yeah, ow.
All right, get that removed immediately. Just rip it out. I mean, like, you
yeah, it doesn't hurt.
I had my eyebrow done once, and it never healed. I took it out. I've had my tongue done. I took it out. I have.
Yeah. My ex, she woke up one day, and she had her nose pierced, and she was like stuck to the pillow. She's like, "I'm stuck."
Oh, I lost mine. My nose was done too, and I've ripped it out. I'll get it done again once I, decide to get it done. But
you guys are crazy with all those piercings. All right, DLAKE for Prez. You can find me on YouTube. Just search David Lake and look for the Captain America shield. It is not that hard. Look, DAVIDLAKE or DLAKE for Prez is a good search too. If you search David Lake and scroll down, Captain America shield, just like you said, 332 videos. If you're on Google and you're like, "Hey Google, what's up with DLAKE 4, the number 4, PREZ?" I usually do it all caps, but just for now, I'll just do it like that. Images, and you come up with all my cool shit. Reverb Nation, DLAKE, what the fuck? All your videos, all your info reporter videos, and everything that
you still post?
People can get all information. Look, the whole page is me, dude. I'm Google, dude. I just run Google. If you put in DLAKE Prez, it's like, what? He's got his own special thing right here. They're like, yeah, hey, here's where you can find him. So obviously easy to find. If you go to Google and put in DLAKE for Prez and do not see a Captain America shield, you're using the internet all wrong. And you don't know what you're fucking doing.
It's so easy that it's easier. It's easier to
be banned from traveling to the United States.
Like
I said earlier, before everyone got told to fuck off, is that if you're from another country that's not America, you don't have an American right just to come here. I mean, you may want to, and you may decide to, and you may pursue that. That's fine. Just do it legally. Don't cross the border in the middle of the night through a fucking river, because that's not going to happen anymore. Thank you. DLAKE for Prez. The media speaks. Sam.
It's as easy as pouring juice on your chin.